you ready?
Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Weeaboo Club, the podcast where if WattheWut says one word, I leave.
That wasn't a word.
I know.
Well,
okay.
bye.
Goodbye,
Thank
Vindy.
God,
Sorry.
finally, bro.
Why is What so happy every time somebody
He's
leaves?
literally the worst. That's
so
why.
rude.
Because I want to be the one who leaves.
Then why would you laugh at others leaving? What the heck?
I want to be gone. I want to be gone from this world. Oh, I want it to end. Oh, I want all of it to end, bro.
Anyway, comments. I guess from the Madoka video.
Madoka.
Yeah, so real quick, Titania said Nun is gone. That's because this video was recorded last year. So it's
Nun
not
is
that
gone.
Nun was gone. It's more that Nun wasn't there at the time in the first place.
Black erasure. You
so,
love to see it.
you know, we recorded that closer to when Manga Record finished, and it just kind of never came out.
Yeah, I
until
was
it
just saying,
did.
it wasn't even that Nun was, like, gone or anything. It was really just, like...
He wasn't part of the Weeb Club yet.
Yeah, this was before Nun decided that he was joining the Weeb Club by joining for a backlog episode.
I didn't decide anything. I was roped in.
You literally
Stop lying. Stop lying.
joined
I
a
need-
backlog
stop lying.
episode
Stop
as you were
lying,
recording and
please.
said, no, I
Oh
watched
my
the
God.
show.
Oh my
and from then on, you were a
No,
part
stop
of it.
lying. Stop
It was
lying.
your decision.
No,
So I can take this shit
I
anymore.
was threatened.
Vindy did lie because Nun didn't watch it. He read Bloom into You.
You're right, it was Bloom into You. I'm sorry. You know what? I should... why am I even here?
Leave again. Thank God. There he is again.
All right, Gabriel, right?
Well, Vindy's not going to be here to fucking answer this fucking question.
Is spitting.
What the
because,
fuck is the first comment? What is the
I'm
fucking
ignoring
first comment
you.
on this video?
You can't break crafts when he's already broken.
I agree. Gintama is peak shonen.
No, but okay.
Let's
what does that have to do with the fucking video?
I don't care. I agree with it.
Okay, all right.
It's so
Like-
sad that again that shonen is action shonen is such a mediocre genre that it peaks at a 7 out of 10.
Well, okay. Let's not pretend like it peaked at Gintama, because it peaked at Naruto.
It didn't peak at Gintama. It peaked at
Roboco's
Roboco.
not an
Excuse
action
you.
shonen, so it's not...
Are you
it
kidding
No,
me?
it has.
No, it doesn't.
No, it
doesn't. No, it
It's
doesn't.
literally
You've never read
Shut up.
Roboco, idiot. You've never
I
read
literally
Roboco.
have. I've read more of it than you have.
Well, then you would know it's an action shonen as well.
It's not.
It is.
It's not.
Also, what has read more than you actually? Because you haven't gotten to the what the fuck, the
Slam
slam
dunk
dunk
chapter.
reference, and what has he's past that.
No, what doesn't read?
Okay, I think. All right. Well,
He just looks at
Nun,
the pictures.
Can you read the fucking water comment?
No, I haven't even seen what it is, but I'm just saying no anyway.
Read it real quick, please. Please.
No,
Do it real quick.
no.
Which comment?
You're actually gonna make
The
me
water
never read
comment.
any comment from Water because you do this to me.
Let's go see what he left. Fine, Vindy, can you read it on the Magi record video?
What's up?
Can you read the comment from Water on the Magi record video?
I can't believe they stole cowboys from black people. No,
right.
cowboys stole black people. Please get it right.
Oh no! All right. Let's move on to the next video.
There are more comments on this one.
No.
I actually like this Muro comment where I wonder if there's a guy out there who's a hardcore Knife Girl fan who has her as his waifu and has a small shrine in his house dedicated to her. Absolutely, 100%.
Yeah, his
Probably
name's fucking Vindy
every
Bondo.
single one of the girls in this, including Eyeball Maniac, has somebody who like ridiculously stands them. Some like fucking weirdo who's like the biggest
from
Majir record
Texas,
fan. You know what I mean?
Like,
Loves them.
really likes Gintama. And
Can you calm down?
You know, streams sometimes. And Kanye West dancing gif.
Well, if we say
You know?
stream sometimes, we know it's not me because I stream never.
Well, that's.
I will say, regarding the Knife Eye Girl, the author, at least as the artist of her, has a good sense of humor because I do really like the image where he drew a little comic of her like slipping down a hill and then like getting tied up in her own like dumb shoelace hoodie things, and
Yeah, she actually doesn't look bad there. Just
Yeah.
because it's like...
Yeah, it's like a different art style,
Yeah,
so the
it's-
massive eyes work.
All right. So, can we move on now?
I think there was one more I liked.
No, I don't think there is.
Oh, no, it's not one I liked. It's one I need to make fun of. Sushi says, Cowboy Chick's great. I don't know what y'all are on about. Okay, the Cowboy Chick just looks like any character from fucking Era Manga Sensei. And on top of that, so if you think she looks great, boy, do I have the fucking anime for you. But
I literally picked her because I wanted to make the joke about cultural appropriation.
right.
How
she
many layers
just
of
doesn't look
of
like she
incest are you
fits
on?
in Majia record. Like she just I'm on Christian level. I'm kidding.
Oh!
I had to slip a joke in there somewhere.
No!
I've been waiting the whole time to slip a joke
No!
in there. Just like he was, waited a long time. Okay. Yeah, no, she just doesn't fit at all, and I don't know how you could think she looks great. She doesn't look like she belongs in Madoka Magical at all. Like, at least some of the
here's
other
your
girls,
problem.
like, I can look at them and be like, yeah, like these designs are terrible, but, like, I can at least buy that this is in the world of Madoka Magica. Cowboy Girl, not at all.
Vindy, here's the problem.
Okay.
I don't know why you acknowledge that comment, because it's from a person who not only doesn't understand
Don't be toxic.
fucking
Close your mouth.
One
Don't be
Piece
toxic.
like
Don't be
manga
toxic.
panel
Don't be
flow,
toxic. Don't be
but he's
toxic.
also
Don't be
part of the
toxic.
Weeb
Don't be
Club too,
toxic.
and unironically. So like, I don't know what you wanted from that. What level of intelligence you expected from a commenter like that? So anyway, here's a comment from the Weekly. Space Jam 1 is a masterpiece. Put respect on the name. And like,
Space Jam 2 is better.
sure, yeah, but here's the problem. Guitar Skater also comments in the same video. Put more garbage DCU takes. Yay. As always, the
I
classic
don't
Guitar Skater
think
movie
I had a
Oh
cancel
single
my
out-
garbage take.
god.
Like,
the fucking
That's
the cancel
so
out intelligence.
funny.
like my DCEU take is like
Holy shit.
Like I will say, even though I hate Batman versus Superman, I give that movie more credit than 99% of people who talk about that movie.
No, Vindy.
Because
You
I
have
at
to
least
understand.
acknowledge the point that the movie's trying to make.
This is a classic Guitar Skater comment situation, man.
That is actually so funny. I was not expecting that, but it's like actually just like so like fitting that Guitar
I
would say
bet
that.
Guitar likes the Joss Whedon Justice League more than Spider-Verse.
Probably. Look, listen. This is a guy who unironically likes Jump Force.
This is a guy who unironically said
Has
that
Noel.
the rap music in Spider-Verse didn't fit and it was bad.
No, you know what he said? I think his words are something like, "Oh yeah, the only reason it's and they're like that is because he's black. I don't care if he's black. That's bad rap music, and it shouldn't be in there because rap music is bad." And I was like, Guitar, please stop. You like Jump Force?
I like this exchange where Titania asks if LeBron James can beat Goku, and Wada responds, in a fight, no. On the court, easily.
He does have full court
Exactly.
vision after all.
Full Fork Vision. You can see it all.
Titania with another great comment. I can't believe you missed the part where LeBron James said the computer is black. He did say that.
I can't believe we said. Did we say
happen?
that?
I was going to
No.
ask about that.
It did happen.
That's a
It's so
direct
funny.
quote. Is that LeBron James says the computer is black?
No, so like, yeah, it's like the moment Don Cheadle shows up, he like whispers to
Oh
fucking
my
Dom,
God.
and he's like, "The computer's black." It's so funny.
Um,
Okay, here's a comment from Generic MC. It says, "My lord, such a coward. Just admit to everybody that you like all three of them unironically. Quit making excuses. It's truly sickening." This is in reference to when notorious liar Craftsdwarf said that he ironically likes Roboco, fucking Rick and Morty.
Oh yeah.
And what was the last one? It was
Not
I would say
Gintama.
it's not that I like
Minions,
them
and
either.
Minions, yeah.
Ironically or unironically, I like the reaction they get out of people. That is what makes
Okay,
me
all
laugh.
right, okay. Just Generic MC is correct. Just fucking admit it, please. Just admit
Yeah, I
you love
think the
him.
wording was like Kraft said minions aren't as funny as Roboco
Yeah,
and
he just needs to admit that.
Rick and Morty.
Back in
and
my
Pickle Rick.
day, we didn't have antidepressants. We just killed ourselves, and our parents called it an accident. If you think you're gonna vaccinate my kids, this is the only kind of shot you're gonna get. Show me where it says I can't kill my landlord. Are you gonna keep posting these? Or are you gonna read a fucking comment?
yes.
Our marriage is loveless, and I want a divorce.
Okay, that's enough of those.
Do you want to die yet, Craftsdwarf? 'Cause I do.
I literally just
Then I'll
typed
laugh
in
at you
Facebook minion memes.
like
and
you're
those
just
all
like
showed up.
you're using these shonen like self-sacrifice moves and to defeat me, but you're still not doing any damage and you're just slowly
No,
dying.
I just really want to have a reason to kill myself.
Post another one.
No, so I want to post a picture real quick, actually, because I never got to post this before. I feel like now is the perfect moment to post this fucking image, because as I'm sitting here recording the Weeb Club, I feel like this is us every time we record the fucking Weeb Club. This is just an actual image of what happens when we record the motherfucking Weeb Club. All the damn time.
Yeah, have to be here every week, of course.
That's okay. If that's an image of us recording the Weeb Club, I'm one of the girls whose faces you can't see, and I just have the biggest smile on my face because I love recording the Weeb Club.
There's only 4 of us. There's literally only 4 of us. There's literally only 4 of us, dumbass.
The ones who you can't see their fucking faces, you mongoloid.
There's literally only 4 of us. Well, she's actually scared out of her mind.
You understand there's
also,
2... No, not her. You realize that in the first picture you posted, there are 2 girls facing away from the camera.
Well, there's
so
a
we
picture
can't
of them
see
with
their faces.
You can see her face, as you can see.
And
that their
they're
faces
smiling.
have the
They're
same facial
smiling.
expressions.
And that's me.
No. Do you know what smiles are, dumbass?
Yes.
Look up a smile.
What do you mean?
You're not giving
what do you
me
mean?
one right now.
There are literally... Okay, what are you talking about? You never see the brown hair girl with the bob cut's face. It's literally not in either of these screenshots you posted.
I need to listen to Jesus.
All right, and she's smiling, and that's me.
Exist. I need to fucking pray to God right now about the sins you've committed.
A comment from Azurite that says, a discussion about Monster Girls without mentioning Monster Girl Quest, and that's a good point. I should have brought it up. I thought about it the other day when I think Nun was talking about it. I don't think I said it then either.
Wait, what?
Monster Girl Quest is a VN where you have sex with a bunch of monster girls.
Okay.
Oh, okay.
So anyway,
and I should have brought it up because
that.
Monster Girl Quest is
no.
poggers, actually.
No.
Yes.
Stop. So there's a comment from a master of the securial arts here, and it says, "I just want to
I
thank
was
my
gonna bring that
amazing
up. What the heck?
Oh, no, you go ahead and read it. I'm sorry about that. I'm sorry.
All right, thank you.
You're
I just want to thank my amazing securial art student, Nunmanji. He's bringing great respect to the art of securial guard, security guard, and I'm so proud of him.
How many months did you go to school for that?
It's been about 2 years at this point. Yeah, I've been training really hard.
Comment from my hero, Melvin. I'm so glad that Nun is back. Man, I almost messed up reading that. That would not have been good. I almost slipped in an extra letter there. Whew.
What? What does that even mean?
Oh my god. Can we kick him out now?
I'm ready to move on to Reddit.
No.
There's more. But Nun, do you not...
There's a lot more on this one.
Do I need to explain it to you?
No, I get it. I get what you accidentally we're about to say.
I have 2 comments to read here, and they're both very good.
One of them's bad. One of them's pog.
So you can really tell when Nun hates something with a burning passion because he actually talks, which is true. Which is something I thought about. But that's a good comment. Not as good as this comment that says it was absolutely the right call to do a draft. However, the way you explained it clearly was not understood by your fellow Weeb Club members. I am only so hard on you because I know you are better than what you displayed in this instance.
So here's the problem with what you're doing, Mr. Renru. This is a little thing called results-based analysis, okay? Just because they didn't believe it doesn't mean it wasn't the right call, right? Let me give you an example of this with real-world application of results-based analysis. Say I'm driving, okay? And there's a green light, and I go through the green light, and some drunk driver thinks that they have a green light, T-bones me, right? They had a red light. Now, would you say to me, oh, you shouldn't have driven through that green light because you could have been hit? No, that's not the way it works because, then I would just never get in a car. I could always get hit by a drunk driver, right? So that would be like saying, oh, well, you should have just never tried to explain anything to the Weeb Club. They don't have brains. That's not my fault that they didn't understand how a draft works. I should be able to just say, it's a draft. Boom, everyone gets it. Everyone's on the same page.
No.
This is another example of a time where we're all normies, right?
No.
The 3 I'm with, sports normies. They don't know what a draft is, right?
Well, no, shut up.
What the heck?
I think you just were really bad at explaining it.
I shouldn't have had to explain it.
Yeah,
it's a draft.
You should explain it.
Yeah, if there were fucking trading cards, I could have figured it out.
Oh my god.
Done a Magic the Gathering draft. I've never done a sports draft.
A Magic the Gathering draft isn't even the same thing.
That's why I didn't know what the fuck we were doing.
Well, we're not passing out packs of trading cards for people to take cards from, Craftsdwarf.
That's what I was literally saying. I'm sorry.
Okay.
But the fact is, I can never get
what
off
did you
of
read
this
Blue Knight's Manifesto? Because I would.
And all the
no. What? I have a question for you. Shut up. I have a question.
Yeah, I just want to smack. What's up?
Stop singing your gay sex song.
You're homophobic.
I'm not homophobic. Literally can't be. I've kissed more boys than you.
Is
I've
fucking
kissed more boys
Manifesto
than
that I
you.
wrote here?
Never mind. This episode's
want
not
me to
gonna be
read
less
the
than
blue-
2 hours.
So
You want me to read
no,
the
no,
Blue
no.
Knight
I don't want you to read it.
Manifesto?
I have a question
The
for
fucking
you.
Blue
No,
Knight
shut
scroll?
up. I have a question for you.
The fucking Legends of King Arthur.
Because here's what I would say is if you want someone who's on the other side of Rosario Vampire from Nunmanji, I would maybe recommend going to read it. But I don't know how accurate you feel it is to Rosario Vampire.
They're both wrong.
Okay, thank you.
They're
That's
both
my
wrong.
question is, do you think Blue Knight is right? Or do you
Okay.
think, like, would you recommend
Rude.
people go read
You-
it if they're
you
interested
can
in Rosario?
Well,
See, you
I
kept
let
like
this-
talking about what I said. But what I said in the podcast was more so about like why I don't care about the conflict.
yeah,
and not,
but
like,
you're
why
wrong.
it's
You're
bad.
just inherently
like,
wrong
if
about
humans
the conflict.
around now have nothing to do with the shit they did like in the past, and like almost every monster sexually harasses people, and then like
Your
all these
mistake
and then all
is
the antagonists
thinking-
being psychopathic.
Well,
that all adds together to me not caring.
None. Calm down for a second. Here's the problem. You're both wrong because both of you seem to think this is a story about like racism and like the same thing as like fucking Monmusu.
No, I'm just explaining why I don't
No,
care.
it's you're.
I'm explaining
like,
why
you
I don't
just-
care
you
about
t-
like,
100%.
about any of that.
You just don't understand what it's about. Like you just. I was listening to you talk about why like the human like
Why are you
sure
so
the human
toxic?
conflict might be like better to include, but it's not really like
You know
the
what? Maybe
point
Rosario
of it.
Vampire's wrong because it's a story about racism and doesn't conclude that racism
It's
is
actually
based.
not a story. It's actually
But
literally
it
not a
doesn't
story about
conclude that
racism.
racism is based, so how can it be good?
Here's the thing. Here's my thing with Rosario Vampire. As I was rereading it, and I'll talk about it on my stream tomorrow with Natty. It's that like it's so fucking blatant with what it's saying that the characters say it out loud. So the story at all times will tell you what it's about. Do you know how many times the topic of power is covered
Okay,
over and over
Here's
again
the problem
with
with
his
that,
characters?
though. You know what other story I would say is unbelievably blatant with what it's about, to the point of it being said so
Naruto?
often that like I couldn't understand someone not getting it, and yet people miss the point. Is
Naruto?
fucking Naruto. Okay.
Naruto?
Yeah, Naruto.
Naruto?
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 Nah.
Naruto?
Rudo.
Naruto?
Like the Rudo from Legend of
Naruto?
Zelda.
Naruto?
Okay, let's go to the Reddit.
I'm gonna fucking shoot
No.
myself.
There's one more comment that I
Oh
want
my
Craftsdwarf to read.
God.
I'm already
Craftsdwarf,
clicked
I
off.
want you to read the pinned comment.
I
No,
can't see it.
Craftsdwarf, read the pinned
I
comment.
can't see it.
No? Fine, I'll read the pinned comment. Space Jam 2, Space Jam A New Legacy, LeBron James, Big Chungus, Miami Heat, Cleveland Cavaliers, Los Angeles Lakers, Rosario
Anyway.
Vampire, Nunmanji Toxic, TMO6, What the What Resident Sleeper, Craftsdwarf Bad at
That's a
SEO,
Slipknot.
Vinny
He
Drunk,
can
Vinny
climb
Fall Out of a
anything
Chair,
and
We're All
stop
Normies,
whenever
Dark
he
Triad,
wants.
Seasonal Anime, Securial Arts, Zachary Snyder,
this,
Algae
some
Rhythm,
kind of Weeaboo
Warner Brothers,
club?
Wonder Woman, Lola Bunny, Rick and Morty, Peach Boy, Riverside, Weeb Club. Why?
I like how Nun will actually fucking read the Reddit for once in his life just to try and shut what up.
It didn't work.
Here's
though.
what you do,
I read the
Craftsdwarf.
whole
Just
thing.
turn what all the way down so we get to hear Nunmanji read.
No,
about
don't do
Reddit.
that. That's literally rude. That's literally rude. Also, what was he talking about? Oh, this
First
is
thing on the
Slipknot.
Reddit.
He can climb anything and stop whenever he wants.
What is this? Some kind of Weeaboo club?
I wish this podcast was Suicide Squad, because if it was, what would be dying right around
Might as
now?
fucking
What
well
would be dying like right around now?
Wait.
He'd be getting fucking blown up.
When Nun starts talking about R plus V, you might as well fucking change the title of this to Me When Weeaboo Club, right?
No, people love us.
And that's
fucking-
also me when literally anyone starts talking about R plus V.
Yeah.
I just don't care. I don't care. Please.
Let's just say,
Stop.
let's all agree that this is Blue Knight's fault.
Alright,
No, it's
I like-
literally your
I like
fault.
the last
actually.
one, which is
Literally
an
not.
edit of the movie to have basically what you guys said, where LeBron is
Here's the
Naruto.
problem.
The second image is way more funny than the
I agree.
first.
Here's the
problem.
That's what
Orochimaru
the first one's
eyes
because
on
of the
Don
Rasengan.
Cheadle?
So
Okay, I agree. Turning the basketball into the Rasengan is fucking goated. But Orochimaru eyes on Don Cheadle is actually so unbelievably built different.
So here's
Even
the problem.
If
Here's
it's
the
Gachi Gorilla
problem.
propaganda.
No. Here's the problem, right? I don't see what's different about this image from the film. This literally
Alright.
just looks like a screen cap from the film. What do you want from me? This
So
literally
anyway,
just looks
before
like
we
the film
move
I
on
watched.
to the topic, I do want to mention the Patreon. There's
Shut
a couple
up.
posts
Crafts
on there
is
for
saying something
patrons.
good. What?
No, shut up, Vindy.
So basically,
I've literally
if
stopped
you are a
talking.
$1 patron, aside from getting to vote on the seasonals, because
I have something to say after
we
Crafts
took
is
away
done
the
talking.
backlog thing, instead of suggesting a backlog pick, you can instead suggest a topic that we will be able to discuss. So it just like the backlogs, it'll get voted on, and we'll discuss that voted on topic for a weekly thing a month, basically. That's one of the things. The other one is there is a suggestion box for extracurriculars. So if you are a patron and if you have an idea for an extracurricular video we can do, just leave a suggestion and, comment replying to the suggestion box. So, yeah, and if you want to do either of the things, you can patron $1 a month for, suggestion box and the topic suggestions. So, yeah, Weeb Club, Patreon, it's linked in the description. That's it.
Yeah. Okay. So, Craftsdwarf, you are cool and awesome, but also, this WattheWut guy is always so rude to Craftsdwarf about not, like, thinking about the money we could make on Patreon. And the one time Crafts is, like, remembering to bring it up. What's being rude over here?
It's so toxic.
What are you talking about? I don't understand.
Can't do anything right.
All right, do you want to introduce the topic,
what's up,
then? Because it's your topic? Or...
What the heck?
None.
What the heck?
It's your
topic. Fucking introduce it.
It's your topic, asshole.
What the heck? Okay.
Oh my god.
All right. Well, you just cut me off. Okay.
Who?
Okay. So.
Who cares?
Oh. Okay.
I'm sorry. Go ahead. Huh?
Are you stop being rude?
I literally am. I stopped talking. What the fuck?
This is the most FNAF ambient noise episode of the Weeb Club for season 2 so far. Like, I almost want What to edit it just so we can have fucking ambient noises every 30 seconds. Like, holy shit. I might start doing it. I'm not editing them in. I might just start making the noise with my mouth.
Because I might have to do something. Because, like, Nun is literally, like, he's getting mad at What for interrupting him, and then he'll be, like, quiet as long as possible until someone else talks, and they'll go, wow, that was rude of you to talk just then, right as I was about to talk. Like, this is fucking he's manipulating. This is actually, like, Dark Triad shit again.
I would legitimately believe.
I told you, the real Dark Triad all along was always Nunmanji. It was always Nun manipulating things from the shadows.
I mean, I accept it because it's funny, but,
I would absolutely, by the way, believe, like, 100% that Nun, like I would think that Nun's, like, can see our faces, and he's waiting for someone's mouth to open to speak. He's doing so good about it. Like, it sounds like we're fucking recording this in person. He's just watching our eyes.
He keeps talking about how he wants to hear our sexy voices and how he wants us to open our mouths and fucking spit in his. It's weird. It's weird, bro.
What the heck?
All right.
This is me every time Nun sends me a message like that.
Okay, anyway. So basically the topic is like series or like games or like anything that we used to really like, but we don't like it anymore. Like, we don't have to dislike it, but it has to be like,
or not like it as much
like
anymore.
significantly.
Should we
as
set
much.
like a point limit? Like, or I guess that's not fair, right? Because, like, even if like something used to be like a 10, but it's like a 7 now, so it's like 2 points lower.
That counts.
Yeah. I guess it depends on the veracity. Because if something goes from like a 7,
Vindy.
That's 3 points. Shut up. But if something goes from like an 8 to like a 5, it's like that's not as big a deal as like a 10 to a 7, right? So I guess it'll just like
What?
Yeah, it definitely feels like
yeah. We'll just play it by okay.
What, Vindy? What?
Can you not talk to me?
Who?
I'm ignoring this
all right,
guy.
I'm gonna start because
He's
you're
muted.
all horrible. Except for Nun, you're funny at least.
What? Oh my god!
So yeah,
White
actually,
man
I
always
do have a
trying to
relevant one.
make up
So,
for racism.
last year I rewatched Legend of the Galactic Heroes.
Gintama.
Right.
The Mal anime, basically. Like, not that it's the most popular one, but
Mal's
it's like,
coming
it's
for
just
that.
such a, community kind of like, ooh, yum. Like,
It's also
people
just like super heavy like A anime, like fucking 4chan.
Yes, that's actually why I
A
watched
for
it. It was
ass.
because I used to browse 4chan.
Yeah, I remember
a
like
lot.
Beatrice bringing that up.
Yeah, it's definitely
Every
like an
fucking
A show.
gobbler. Everyone who like pretends they have taste will suck the dick off of Legend of the
You know what
Galactic
it
And
is?
Heroes,
like,
dude.
look, that's the thing, it's like a good show. There are legitimately like good reasons to like it, but I don't know why the fuck I gave it a 10 when I watched it back in 2012. I legitimately cannot fucking tell you. I watched 110 episodes of the original OVA, then I watched
What
like
the
another
fuck?
fucking
It's
50
that long?
episodes. Yes, no, that's another
Yes.
50 episodes of the side story OVAs. And I like really liked it. And although there's like movies, I watched all of it. I gave fairly decent scores to all of them. With the obviously like including several 10 out of 10s. So last year, I rewatched it. One episode a day. Every so often I'd watch a movie, or the movies. Like, I think I watched them as a trilogy, in fact. And peaked at a 7. And I'm like, it's good. Like, I really like Yang. I like Reinhard, the two main characters. I like how it's this conflict where you see both sides of and it goes, it's, heavy with this political commentary. Like, it's a good series, it's like, the aesthetic and the classical music really fit, the sweeping, epic space conflict that it is. Like, it all makes sense. But I'm just like, yeah, it's good. Like, my feelings never peaked at good. I never had like there was a couple episodes, like, especially like the last one, or there was one where I felt like this whole show was building to this point where there's like a huge like stalemate between and like, oh no, this character might die at this point or stuff like that, or the kind of like history changing moment kind of thing. And like I realized like it was like episode 55 or something like that, like halfway through the show, and I felt like, damn, the whole show is building to this point, wasn't it? And like there's really good stuff there. I just like wasn't super invested in it to a point where I'd be like, yeah, this is really, really good. Like, and you think that after like 8-9 years rewatching it, I'd feel like maybe notice different things about the show, but I legitimately like understood the show back in 2012. Like, it's not a hard to grasp show. Like, it's not like, oh, themes. Like, people...
Fairy tale tirade making crafts.
People fucking understand
you did it.
Legend of Galactic Heroes way more than they do Fairy Tale or Naruto. Let's just say that. Like, easily.
Okay, well...
No, you sent me something. I went to go to our DMs to find it.
I know what you're talking about.
This is why the show has to be based, actually. Based.
No, yeah, Yang
Look
is
at how
totally an
based
alcoholic.
That is. Go.
No, there's several references to alcohol being goat. No, it's a good show. Well, I had to watch because there's like 2 versions of it, because the Blu-ray discs add like digitally reanimated scenes to a older cell style show. So there's some really fucking jarring parts where it'll jump between. So I had to like go find a download of the show that didn't have the Blu-rays, because it's just I wasn't having it.
The Star Wars dilemma. I see.
And yeah, so like that's just because I've been doing a favorites rewatch for a while, and that was a big part of that was a big one to get to, and it's also the hardest drop I've had. Honestly, like I have yet to have something drop more than 1 or 2 points, except for Legend of Galactic Heroes, which was a 3-point drop. So I guess starting off with favorites that we fell out of favor with, even though I still.
I didn't think it was favorites.
I mean,
I just
think,
viewed
okay,
it
yeah,
as...
Just be anything.
Sure,
just anything.
Sure. I don't know. That's what I took from when you suggested it. So that was the first thing I thought of. Go ahead, someone else.
I have one. So this is from earlier this year. So when I was a kid,
right.
Not a kid.
It's ReZero.
No.
Just kidding. Sword
No.
Online.
When I was in like middle school, right? I really, really, really fucking liked the BioShock series. Loved BioShock 1, loved BioShock 2, liked Infinite a lot. Then as time went on, I slowly kind of waned on Infinite, but without replaying it, just like, like sometimes like you think back on something and you're thinking about it more and you're like, I don't really think I liked it that as much as I did when I first finished it, right?
Was it maybe also community opinions influencing you, perhaps?
No, I don't think so.
Because I know BioShock Infinite is kind of like also widely disliked. But
no, at the time, in 2013, the game was loved. Like when the game came out, everyone loved it. And I already think the gaming, like most of the gaming public that talk about shit are just fucking stupid. Say so much just stupid, dumb bullshit about I could talk about so many series I think they're just dumb about, right? Like Assassin's Creed, they're dumb about. Resident Evil, people are dumb about. Fucking almost any FPS, people are dumb about. And so I used to really like the series. Like I probably would have said BioShock 1 and 2 are some of my favorite games. I replayed them all this year, and like there's only one thing I would say I like legitimately really enjoy, and it's 2's DLC. And I would say for the most part, like 2's DLC is really good, don't get me wrong. But like everything else in the series I think is like not great. And that was interesting because like I was really expecting to like go back in and like the series. And I don't know fully why. I think some of why I don't like it as much is like the gameplay. Like for in 2012, 2013 when I was in middle school, it played fine for a shooter, right? Like it wasn't like the best, for like a console shooter I had played. Like obviously like Call of Duty and Halo still felt better to play, but I didn't think it felt like super bad. Going back, especially BioShock 1, that game is fucking rough. Like that game just does not feel good to play. I think that people overemphasize like how much real player choice there is in the gameplay. Like not that there isn't some, but I think that like the only time where like as a player, I would say the only time as a player you actually get to make decisions that influence how a fight goes and play a fight to your liking is against the big daddies. And that's only because the way the mechanic works, the big daddies aren't hostile to you until you're hostile to them, and they patrol a certain area. So that gives you as the player a lot of time to get a handle on it and know that you're know how you're gonna fight the big daddy and set it up so that when you do the first hit you can like one shot him. But I think like every other encounter with like splicers in the game is so much like, oh, I turn a corner, there's like 5 splicers, I have to kill them all. So you just pull out whatever gun you have, or you pull out like lightning bolt wrench, right? So I think that like there's not as much player choice as people like to act like there is in most of the minute-to-minute gameplay. I think that the story in 1 is like fine. I think it's way mad overhyped. Story in 2 is about the most interesting aspect of BioShock, which in my opinion is the little sisters. And I think that a large part of the reason why BioShock 1's so hyped is the twist. But like when you're playing, it's like, yeah, it's fine. I don't think it's like super good. And I actually think the way the twist is even done is like dog shit. Because before like a character tells you the twist, it's like shown to you so like it's you could say, because like how like in Portal 1, right? I think Portal 1's a better example of this. If you go like in like small nooks and crannies, right, you can find the writings by the Rat Man. You can see stuff like the cake is a lie, and you can see a few little things that might help the player start to piece together that maybe not everything's as it is, but it's not as blatantly obvious, especially for everyone playing. And like you kind of have to go out of your way to even kind of get an idea. So to do that, you would already be breaking outside the bounds of the puzzles themselves, meaning you're already somewhat distrustful of the situation you're in. Whereas in BioShock, the way that like it visually shows you like its big twist, like the would you kindly shit, is you drop down and the game like forces you to look at a massive like cork board that says would you kindly and just tells you the twist, and then like a minute later tells you the twist. And I think that like I get why it's done like that, but like it really like kind of kills it in my opinion, because you see it and you're like, oh, okay, that's what's going on, and then it's told you and you're like, all right. And so I think the game is really overrated. And then like so there's just a lot of stuff I wasn't super into. I don't think it's bad, right? Like I'd probably give BioShock like 1 a 6, 2 on its own is a 7, 2's DLC is an 8, Infinite is like a 6, and Infinite's DLC is like really bad. Like it's like a 4. So that's just that series I really don't like as much as I used to.
Mm-hmm.
So that's mine.
Also, real quick, before we move on, I just want to show how jarring the Blu-rays of Galactic Heroes are. So there's an obviously digital shot. It cuts to this, and then it cuts to this. I
don't know talking about that looks perfect.
Alright, shut the fuck up and go then, bitch.
Oh my god, it's like
now.
the Joss Whedon Justice League.
Sorry, go ahead, Ned.
So, I mean, I talked about this on, the Sonic podcast, like Sonic 3 and Knuckles, but, I was kind of thinking about it more because I'm playing Adventure and I'm like super impressed with it, I guess. So I was thinking about like the classic games and like Sonic 3 and Knuckles I don't really care for as much anymore as when I first played it.
Like,
it was never a favorite.
Game.
It was never a favorite, but it was like I didn't view it on like I viewed it on the same level as Sonic 2. Like, I already liked Sonic 2 more, but, I wouldn't, like, put them on a different level. But, like, after playing, all the classic games, I really just didn't enjoy Sonic 3 and Knuckles as much as I thought I would. Mostly because, like, Sonic 3 and Knuckles is this, like, combination of Sonic CD and Sonic 2. But I really don't like that. Like, Sonic CD has, like, really big levels. And, you can take a lot of time in them. And, Sonic 2 is, like, streamlined to be, like, super fast. The levels, still have multiple routes, but it's not, like, you're gonna be exploring and like looking, like super looking for where to go, you should have a good idea. Like Sonic 3 and Knuckles takes both of those and puts them together, and I don't think it works for Sonic 3. Mostly because it's like, I just think Sonic 2 does like a much better job at like having general momentum the entire time you're playing. And Sonic 3 and Knuckles, I feel like you know, there's more points where you're definitely going to be stopping, and like I just feel like the level design isn't like as good as Sonic 2's. And like with Sonic CD, I'm more so fine with it because it's like, it feels more like it's trying to be an expanded version of like Sonic 1. But like with Sonic 1, it like Sonic 1 is like, I guess, more of a like platformer, I guess. And it's like, you know, you can't really go like super fast in Sonic 1. But Sonic CD, it kind of just improves upon what Sonic 1 did, whereas Sonic 2 is like kind of more so what Sonic was always supposed to be, because like Sonic 1 limits how fast you can go because of how the levels are. But you know, Sonic 2, the levels are open enough. There's like, you know, obviously there are things that'll stop you because you can't just like keep running, but generally it's a lot easier to get back on track and like keep moving. So like Sonic CD, you know, it just kind of I don't know, like I don't have a problem with it expanding on one. Like with Sonic 3 and Knuckles, by trying to be both, I feel like it kind of just ruins, like, maybe not ruins, but it takes away from a lot of the appeal of Sonic 2 for me. And it's like, at this point with that game, it's not something that I like particularly look forward to like replaying. Like I'm more so into Sonic 2 and like the idea of replaying that, and even Sonic CD, because like I feel like CD at least like has like I respect the idea of what Sonic CD was going for, and even though Sonic 3 and Knuckles is like, you know, has a good story, and like you can definitely tell where that led them in terms of making Sonic Adventure, but I don't know, Sonic CD is like more interesting to me, I guess, because not a lot of people like, I guess, talk about it.
Yeah, it's definitely, I think, the least talked about classic game. Well, also I think mechanically being the most interesting, right? Like, because I would say, even though I think 2 is a much better game, right? I think CD is more interesting because, like, yeah, 2 just feels like it's perfecting the Sonic, like the idea of Sonic, right? Like, it's just taking Sonic and just making it like near flawless, right? And CD's like trying.
Sonic 2 feels like what Sonic like should have always been. Like Sonic 1 wasn't able to do that, but Sonic 2 was, but Sonic 3 and Knuckles kind of, you know, it takes CD, which was the thing that's like, CD is an expanded version of 1, so it's taking some of the things that 1 shouldn't have been doing that are in CD, I guess, which I don't really enjoy.
Yeah, no, I mean, yeah, I think I remember when we recorded the Sonic podcast, it felt like there was like, you were super negative, right, on Sonic 3. And so there was a lot of like, I felt like you were like saying these things about Sonic 3, and I was like, well, it's not that bad. Like, it has this thing that I like and this thing that I like. And you were just like really negative. I don't think that's bad. I mean, you know, but I definitely understand that.
I mean, like, I definitely don't think it's like a bad game, but
I don't think you do.
It's
either.
Just like,
it is an annoying game, I would say.
It's just like, I think it's mostly that like I just don't I'm not super into like a lot of the zones, to where it just like brings down a lot of the game, because a lot of the game is like kind of trying to be like CD in some ways.
Right.
Like it's not like I feel like when somebody hears that, and if they haven't like compared the games as much, I guess that might sound weird, because like CD is like still significantly bigger than Sonic 3 and Knuckles. Like I wouldn't say they're like I wouldn't say that it's like overboard, I guess, with trying to be like CD. I just don't like the idea of fusing 2 and CD.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And like, yeah, I mean, I guess it was just something I was super thinking about, because I've been playing Adventure, and it's kind of like, I'm like liking it more than before, and I think it like is doing more interesting things and cool things than like all of the classic games. So Yeah.
So is it what's turn?
What go?
He's
Yeah, it's
busy
what's
giving
turn.
me cringe.
What's going on? What are you talking about?
I need to post this.
I'm
This
so
is too
confused.
funny to not. Hold on.
I'm posting it first.
There. This is so funny. Not that.
This is also
not
funny.
that. You missed the part where
very
I
funny,
said
isn't
not
it?
that. I was saying that Bam was sexy.
No.
But-
No. This is the full toxic. This is the full context.
Vindy's funny.
This is the full context. Man, I can't
What's
believe
something
thought
you
the
used to like that
nostalgic
you
critic,
hate?
What the what? You. But
All right. Well, toxic, yes, but you walked into that one.
All right. The obvious answer is Code Geass.
I'm gonna make him sweat.
We are
before I
literally
join
talking
back.
one of my
Trust me,
favorite
boys,
anime
there's
ever.
one thing I have.
Code Geass.
It's self-control.
A fucking 9 out of 10 fucking good shit that I used to love
Both
endlessly.
seasons?
Yes.
Okay. I forget.
And
when
then I
it ended,
fucking
so.
rewatch it years later, and I want to blow my fucking brains out.
I'm gonna be quiet though,
watching
because I
it,
don't want to talk over
and I
what
cannot
talking,
comprehend
so I'll let him talk.
why I used to like it.
Was
right?
that the recent rewatch you did, or was that an earlier
Recent
one?
rewatch? Yeah,
Okay.
recent. That was like late last year, right?
I remember you posting about it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was trying
Okay.
because I was wondering if it was one of those things where it's like you really liked it, then you rewatched it, and you really hated it, and then you like kind of middled out on it, and it's still low. But you
Well,
know.
here's my thing. What do
'Cause
I
you
have
don't,
it
like,
rated
hate
right
it,
now?
right?
Was it like a 4? Let me check
I
real
think
quick.
you had
'cause
it as
it's-
like a 4. Yeah, that's what I remember.
yeah,
at
because
least.
I mean that's a fucking 5-point difference, right?
No, it's still
Oh,
a
yeah,
massive
it's a 4.
drop, but it's not like I literally hate myself and want to die. I mean, that's just your normal state, but you know what I mean.
Yeah. Here's the thing, right? Code Geass is like you can totally see what it's trying to go for, right? I could be cringe, and I haven't seen Mobile Suit Gundam Seed in order to pull the meme of guys. It's literally just Mobile Suit Gundam Seed, right? But like Code Geass, I think what's appealing about it is that at no point is Lelouch the big comparison that comes up when you watch Code Geass is it's always like, who's the better protagonist, Lelouch or Light? And because I despise Light, because I think he's fucking terrible, I'm like, obviously it's Lelouch. And because Lelouch as a character is more compelling to follow. He makes more mistakes. He's like not perfect or whatever, right? And
Yeah.
now they want to move on after me because you don't want to hear me speak ever again. But like
Like, the thing I like about Lelouch, like, I guess compared to Light, which, doesn't make Light bad or anything. I just like how
Light's just
Lelouch
bad,
clearly has more of a sense of humanity in him. And,
well, I guess he's more likable.
something to connect to, I guess.
He's more likable, definitely. He's definitely the best part of Code Geass aside from C2's ass and Callan's tits, right? Like,
Callan's got a fat
It's-
ass too. Don't pretend like she doesn't.
okay, but shut up. So anyway, right? Like, Lelouch is super likable, especially when like you realize his whole motivation is just that he wants to do to make the world better, right? He's just he just knows only one way, right? To make himself the sacrificial pawn or whatever, right? To be the villain, fucking the hero that Gotham deserves, not the one it needs, but the one it deserves, right? The difference between him and Light is really just that Light's just the embodiment of what happens if you give the white kid a 9mm, right? But it's like the problem with Code Geass is that if I understand, trust me, I understand what it's going for. I was on the fucking Code Geass defense force for years, being like, I even used to sometimes defend the funny scene that everyone memes because I understood the point of it, right?
To fucking be hysterical, right? Like that's the point,
It's-
right? Is just to make me laugh my ass off.
Well, that's true. That's what I was wrong about. Maybe that's what I misunderstood. Is that
Honestly,
Fuck.
here's where Nun's wrong, okay?
yeah.
Nun would say, if asked, that Roboco's the funniest thing of all time, but I think he's wrong. I think it's Code Geass.
See,
No.
that's not necessarily true because Code Geass also just makes me mad. Like, Code Geass has one of the funniest scenes in all of anime, right? Kill all the Japanese because it's just so
Does it-
fucking ridiculous
Okay.
that I cannot believe somebody
Can
wrote
I guess
it.
why it makes you mad?
Why?
Because you see other girls naked, but not Nunnally, and that just really bothers you because Nunnally is the one you wanted to see naked.
Well,
Like that reincorporation
Well,
from a
you
couple
just-
episodes ago, Craftsdwarf.
well, you've disabled my points, but like, here's the thing, right? Is Code Geass is just it's a show where it wants you to sit there and take this fucking war drama seriously and shit, and then the next second, his plans are almost foiled because a fucking cat was running around with his terrorist mask
Hysterical.
on.
Okay, that was supposed to be a comedic episode, to be fair.
That's not, you can't do that.
No, it was literally a comedic episode.
I know it's supposed to be comedic, but it's just so mind-bendingly fucking stupid.
I'm gonna play.
And it's like also before Lelouch, like, I guess, descends further. So it's like, it's not as
it's really
out of
fucking
place.
I'll play both sides here.
No, it was funny.
One side is like, I agree with Nun, where like it's supposed to be a comedic, or no, okay. On one side, I need to play what side first, which is like, I get why he's upset, because like it's such a major tone shift from how the first few episodes are, where like it just feels like a completely different show, right? Like
fucking characters are getting
at
slaughtered and massacred.
Like, in Code Geass,
right
there's like
left.
this major tone shift between all of the terrorists, the Lelouch, or all like the Zero stuff, and then the haha funny Lelouch school hijinks, right? And sometimes they merge, and sometimes when they don't, I do think there's like this major tonal shift. Do. However, on the flip side, I'll say, and I think this is from a Digi video or a B video a long time ago, but I remember she said in some video that like tone shifting is just a major part of anime, and that I would actually agree with. I think there are so many anime that have major tonal shifts that like I can't be too harsh on Code Geass for it, because like because I hear people talk about like tone shifting, right? And my problem anytime I bring up like tone, which I will later, is it's never like the tone shifts. It's like so like I don't think it's a problem that the tone shifts in Code Geass, because it's intentional and I think it works.
No,
but
no, you're wrong.
No,
you don't like Roboco. Your point doesn't matter.
So rude. I mean,
no,
I
get
about
it.
what you're saying.
No,
I do get why people find Code Geass funny, like especially because of like how dramatic the music is, like along with like
it's
ridiculous fuck ups by Lelouch. Like when you hear that like certain OST kick in right as something happens, I can see how it's funny.
Here's why I can't fully hate Code Geass, right? Is because at the end of the day, the ending of Code Geass is really good fucking ending, and also the point's there, and it's doing the point. It's just that at all times, as I'm watching this, I want to fucking shoot myself. Because it's just so, like... Again, I understand the tone shift thing, but I was literally 5 seconds ago watching old people get massacred. Literally 5 seconds.
Craftsdwarf, no!
And then you were laughing.
Yeah, I was laughing about the old people, and now you want me to fucking laugh at something that's not as funny?
What, Craftsdwarf? I wouldn't laugh if you died.
I would guffaw. But, like, it's... it's just like, okay. For example, we'll talk about the fucking... everyone knows about the funny Kill All the Japanese scene. I think at this point, if you don't know about Kill All the Japanese, like, you haven't heard anything about Code Geass, right? But, like, Kill All the Japanese...
I heard of it, but I didn't know the context. Don't explain the context.
I'm not going to explain... Okay, but basically, the whole point of the scene is supposed to be that Lelouch is like constantly burdened by like karmic destiny, right? That at all times he has to pay for the actions of what he's fucking done to other people, right? So the one moment he has a path out of like doing the right thing and achieving a path of peace, he has too much blood on his hands and like ultimately he pays for what he's done. I get that. This is also where the equivalent of the funny anime girl pulling out the 9mm and just busting a bunch of There's literally a gif of her standing on top of a destroyed robot, busting some caps to some people inside a football stadium. And, like, if you don't think that's the goofiest shit you've ever seen in your life, like, I don't know what to do, like, what to tell you. Like, I just cannot watch that scene anymore without laughing my ass off. No matter how much I know it's supposed to be like
as we'll discuss when I get to my thing in the weekly roundup, people dying and getting hurt is funny.
Alright, okay. But, like, do you see what I mean, right? Where it's, like, Code Geass reaches that level of, like, it's trying so hard to do the thing that it wants to do. And, like, at a certain point, if your tolerance for it is at a certain level, I could see you being like, yeah, I understand that. I vibe with that. But I think to the average person, or, like, most people who would, like, it's just, like, when you really think, I guess, about what's happening, like, it's one of those things where it's like the literal context. Like, there's the themes of the thing, and then there's like the literal logical aspect of it that as you're sitting there thinking about it, and you're like, I get why this is happening. but I also want to fucking bash my brains in that it's happening, right? If that makes sense. Because Code Geass is a lot of that. Like, fuck. What? Okay. Oh, none hasn't fucking seen R2. Because R2 has more scenes that are of the same kin as fucking Kill the Japanese.
What the heck?
It has more toy robots and it has a better OP.
I agree.
Like,
World End is the best Code Geass OP.
World End is so good.
Flo really killed it.
But like, I just literally cannot watch it anymore without like if there's one positive thing, I will say, the new Code Geass movie that came out made me appreciate this original series way more because it's such a dog shit fucking fan fiction piece of shit that it makes me angry that it disrespected Code Geass. That's the level of like fucking bad that fucking movie is. But anyway, if we are gonna do one more, if we want to, I could talk about one more thing. I know Craftsdwarf says he doesn't have anything else that he like.
Well, see,
he also just said let's do one more each, so I don't know why you're bringing that up.
No,
he's racist.
I mean, the one more would be Liar Game, which we kind of talk about. But even though it's
yeah.
like, it's one of my like, if I actually, you know what, I might do that. Is I want to make a 3x3 of like manga I really liked back in like high school or shortly after high school, because Liar Game would be on there. And I still like that's the funny part about the backlog is like I was there agreeing with everything negative we were saying. The games are stupid. The point of the story is kind of stupid and not handled that well. But I still do like some parts of the story and especially to the characters. So overall I still like it, but I see way more problems with it. And the funny thing, and the reason why I don't think I have a lot of instances of me falling out of love with something is because like I am broken. And I think someone on my server I think it was Win, but maybe it was someone else that put it well, where it's like, my tastes have aged backwards. Because if you talk to 2012 Craftsdwarf, he would have been like, oh yeah, JoJo, 20th Century Boys, One Piece, Ghost in the Shell Standalone Complex, Legend of Galactic Heroes, Evangelion.
All dog
if
shit.
If you talk to Craftsdwarf now, Aikatsu, Pretty Cure...
Sword Art Online,
Plunderer. Like,
you could say you improve for the better.
Only thing that's left that's dog shit is One Piece. Gotta get it out of there, Crafts. I'm sorry. Time to grow up.
Right? Like, it's so weird. Like, if anything, wouldn't Sword Art Online be the thing I fell out of love with? But instead, it's like, I dropped it like at episode 9 as it was airing, and then now it's like, oh, it's literally one of my favorite anime. So, like, I don't have a lot of things I fell out of favorites with because I've only loved them more.
Is it crazy though, like that? Because my score dropped for Liar Game as well when I reread it for the Weeb Club, and that's gonna be something else I'll say when we talk about my other thing that really fell out of favor with
Love Live.
Because like, no, well, true. Fuck Love Live, terrible fucking series.
Yeah.
Yeah, they
Yo,
fucking delayed it for 2
didn't
weeks
get
because of the
naked.
fucking Olympics.
Oh.
0
Exactly.
out of 10.
Well, actually, no. Actually, Vindy, you're factually wrong. She did get naked.
I didn't see her tits.
True. Big shame, actually. Never mind.
All right, anyway, you're talking already. What? So you go again. Fuck you.
So, guys, remember how I used to love a show named Anohana?
No.
Literally one of my top 10 favorite anime of all time.
Wow, that's
like,
impressive.
Look, well, it's funny because when Nun originally suggested the topic, you weren't sure about it. And I was like, what? You literally have, like, things that are perfect for the topic.
Yeah.
Because you used to really like Code Geass.
Anohana's even better because we've talked about it in the Weeb Club.
No, that's what I figured it'd be.
You know what would have been really based if you had done? If you had worked your toxicity in this and just instead brought up a person you used to be friends with that you're not anymore. Like, if you would have been like, Chandler makes video. Like, that would have been so funny.
Look, listen, Chandler makes video is so fucking irrelevant. He made a video about how he's not talking about drama anymore, and then all of a sudden nobody fucking watched it.
No, I know, but just like, it would have been funny to just name someone, right? Like, that's what you should have done.
Yeah, like a pedophile, or like a person who consistently, like, insists that I've gaslit him, and I've still not figured out what I gaslit him for.
Gaslight me right now.
You're gaslighting me to fucking talk about this shit and making it my fault.
Gaslight this dick
all right?
in your ass. Get ready.
Why don't you gaslight this dick in your mouth, bitch?
It's open.
All right, here we go. Anohana is a fucking show that made me cry. And that didn't change, but for, like, more baffling reasons later on. Because it's incredible how it still made me cry.
It's incredible how it made all of us cry, even though we all
not.
disliked
It's
the show.
dog shit. It's manipulative. It gaslit me.
Exactly.
It did make me.
It gaslit me into
It
fucking
did make
crying.
me cry with
I was
laughter.
laughing at it the whole
that
time.
one time where that girl almost gets raped, but they decide not to because One Piece is almost
All
on.
right.
Like that's the funniest shit I've ever seen. I'm sorry. Imagine going,
Don't
we
say that
can't.
sentence
One
ever
Piece
again.
is almost on. Like man, it's you know what it is? It's fucking what's that one show? It's the reverse of the one where like the One Piece hater was like the
Inuyashiki.
It's the reverse of fucking Inuyashiki.
It's the reverse
dude.
Inuyashiki, where in Inuyashiki the One Piece hater is the bad guy, and it's he's a terrible person. And this one, the people who like One Piece are the bad guys.
No, he's the One Piece fan. He's a One Piece fan, and that's why he's the villain.
He is the One Piece fan. You're right. They're the exact same thing. I forgot.
No, except in this case, the chick.
And
in
on
this chick,
Ohana, he was a liar. He doesn't really like One Piece. He was
Yeah, he
using
doesn't
it as
really
an
like One
excuse
Piece.
to assault the girl.
His favorite character is probably Zoro, right? So like, holy
What are
shit!
we
Like
even talking
he was
about
like,
anymore? Go on. What about Anohana?
Anohana's bad, really fucking bad. Anohana has a scene where a man dresses up as his dead lolly girlfriend that he knew as a fucking child and runs through the forest dressed up as her, like, and then it's supposed to be treated like a traumatic moment. But the only thing I can think of is, damn, this motherfucker like has got problems, and it's another thing, right? Where it's like, okay, I get what it's trying to do, but it's goofy as fuck. It's stupid. I can't take it seriously. And like, I was again, Anohana top 10 here, and like fucking was defending that shit, and then I rewatch it. And I'm like, god damn, whoever made this is a fucking idiot. Or something, right? Like, because I can see what it's trying to do, but it's so fucking dumb. And then on top of that, when we were talking about it, Vindy brought up the whole thing about how it kind of works and treats death, how it makes it all about them rather than about like about Menma. I'm like, yeah, that's kind of fucked.
Or yeah, Menma's
and, like,
family who are like dealing it in a more like like reasonable way. Like, that makes sense.
Like, they're
Wait.
making it about, like, ooh, I was in love with her. I was too.
I mean, it makes sense why it's more about them, because they're the ones who feel guilty about what happened, whereas she's not, like, holding something against them or anything.
That's what I'm saying. I'm saying it makes sense. But, like, it's also just so fucking, like, in ways that, like, either are stupid or just, when you really think about it, are fucked. Or just could have been handled better, right? That's what
I haven't seen the show in a while, so I can't really say, but like
can't
it
wait
makes
for you
sense
to
why
agree
they would
with
hold
us.
on to these childish things that happen that
No,
are
my
like
god,
ultimately
shut up.
kind
You
of
hate Rosario
insignificant.
Vampire.
But,
You hate
you know,
Rosario
it
Vampire.
really matters
you
to
will
them
never
because,
understand.
It surrounds a character who
Oh my god, you're
literally
making
died.
fun of fucking Nunmanji right now?
No, I
Vinny?
was making FNAF ambient noise. I just don't know how to do it. That was a cue for Craftsdwarf to add it into the episode.
Are you fucking stupid? Are you fucking stupid, Vindy?
No.
Who?
No.
Cares. Anyway, right? Like, so like, it's just fucking. I feel like, because there's a lot of things, right, where I rewatch it, it gets better. That's been the case for so many things. Revue Starlight, ReZero, fucking like, fucking Bleach definitely got way better in my mind after rereading it. Like, it's just. There's so far been like 3 cases where re-experiencing the thing has only made me think less of it, right? And it's not even like it's doing anything like contradicting its own flaws. It's things with the way it presents what it's doing that it just bothered me. Like Liar Game, I wouldn't even say that it's like it doesn't make sense, because it does make sense. It's just fucking stupid, and I can't fucking bring my like. I've realized as I've more experienced more that stories where the whole story's like, I'm fucking 5D chessing you. I'm smarter than you. Makes me realize how fucking stupid everyone is in each story, right? Oh my god.
All right.
But like,
I thought you were done.
oh, oh.
All right. Craftsdwarf said you're done. Time to pack it up.
Yeah, Crasher said I'm done. I'm gonna fucking go
what do you have next?
kill myself right now.
Why are you picking me to go? What the heck?
They're trying to kill us both off, None, because we're both brown.
No, I don't want to kill none.
You go,
I wanna kiss
Vindy.
None. Okay.
kill him, kiss him after you kill him.
No, I just want to give him a big old smooch right on his chocolate starfish. Okay.
You're drawing out this episode.
I'm sorry. Okay, so mine is kind of an interesting one because it's not this like the actual like I guess series itself, but it's okay. So
just say hey,
like, yeah. Okay, so what I'm doing is what Craftsdwarf, the show Craftsdwarf picked, right? I'm doing the Reddit version of that, right? So if Legend of the Galactic Heroes is A's show, then I'm doing Reddit's anime, right? No, Annie Twitters is not 2011. Annie Twitters is Umineko. Grow up.
That's also true. But also
I'm doing
Hunter and
Hunter 2011 is Reddit's show.
What's right? It is also Hunter 2011.
Well, I was about to say Umineko's a visual novel, dumbass. It's not an anime.
It doesn't matter. Let's
God,
also
so smart.
Annie Twitter and Reddit are like the exact same.
That's what I'm saying,
Shut up, don't talk to
dumbass.
me. You're not allowed to talk.
Anyway,
Oh my God.
Somebody put a
about
muzzle
it.
on
Holy
him.
Shit.
Yeah, so I watched
you're a
Hunter
furry,
2011 and I really, really liked it, right? And after some time,
See, I don't remember that part. But okay.
that's because you didn't know me
'Cause I know
back
you-
then. This
yeah.
is like
Gotcha.
I think Hunter was like the 100th anime I finished, and I liked it a lot. And then some time passed, and I realized, I was like, maybe I don't like this as much. I was thinking about it, I was like, there's some things that I don't know if I necessarily like completely, buy or just stuff like that. And then what really happened that really made me sour even more on 2011 was I did something that most people don't know how to do, where I read the manga. And that just completely changed like every single part of my tune for Hunter x Hunter. Because then it went from like maybe Hunter x Hunter's like fine, but not super great. So like, no, Hunter x Hunter's a great fucking story. I love it. It's like one of my favorite battle shonen, right? It's fucking like if you don't count Gintama, it's like literally like third. It's just that I think 2011 is like a dog shit adaptation, but Hunter x Hunter's so good that even like a dog shit adaptation is still like a 6. And like it, like I mentioned that I would bring up tone
I didn't
issues.
think Vindy would go full dog shit there.
But like my problem with like 2011, to condense it really simply, is I think that it not only I think does it do a lot of moments really terribly. Like there's a reason that like almost any time you play a moment in 99, like just a single moment, right? I'm not gonna say 99 is a better adaptation, okay? But almost any time I feel you look at a moment that 99 did, and then you compare it to the 2011 moment. The 99 like is better is because I think that like Hunter x Hunter doesn't do a lot of like the big moments well. And then I
will say real quick, because I'm literally watching 99 right now, and this is, I think, even though it's my 4th time going through the York New arc, it might be the most I've ever actually been invested in the York New arc. Mm-hmm. I don't know if that'll last, but I will say that, even though like, because they do make a lot of changes. Like as an adaptation, I'd honestly say it's even worse than 2011. Mm-hmm. But that's because it makes so many changes that like Gon is just a different character.
Okay.
Right. But I think that also makes it interesting as an adaptation because it is more different and it's kind of doing its own thing in a sense in some ways, even if it's also sticking close to the source material and others. So I just wanted to give my stance on that. But yeah, as far as like a moment to moment thing, it's definitely like way better directed, way more interesting visually. Even some of the anime original stuff is interesting, like in retrospect, knowing where the series went. But anyway, go talk about 2011.
Yeah, and so I think that there's a lot with 2011 where like I think that any moment, any arc before I would say Chimera Ant, I think 2011 butchers the tone from the manga, and I guess you could someone could make the argument, oh, it's an anime, it's an adaptation, it's gonna change things, but I think that a lot of what it does to butcher the tone actively hurts kind of the message of the story in a lot of ways, right? Because I feel like a lot of the time Hunter x Hunter is the story where Gon is someone who is too naive for his surroundings, right? Gon is too young to be in this world a lot of the time, and he's looking at things way too childlike, right? Like he's looking at things through the lens of a child. He's way too simple about things, and he's way too like almost self-sacrificing in a lot of ways, right? And reckless. And I think that a lot of times in 2011, because it's a much happier tone, and things kind of end up like even like take for example, right? Gon getting his arm broken because he won't give up in the Hunter exam, I think that moment in the manga is like this dark, like kind of scary moment where it's like Gon like is he's not he's refusing to yield to this world that he's not ready to be into and needs to learn to understand when he can't win, right? And that comes back with Pedo and with stuffing the Chimera Ant arc, right? Like it's all connected. And I think that works a lot better when the manga is more consistent about its world and its tone. And I think that like just 2011, like or not 2011, the manga I think has a lot more like that I don't even want to say horror, but it is a lot darker in tone throughout, and it is shown a lot more.
I remember you used to use the word.
Yeah,
gothic.
I think there is some like gothic horror at points. I don't know if I would say that it all is. I think 99 definitely leans really hard into gothic horror visually. But like yeah, I do think Hunter x Hunter is very dark in tone. But like it's supposed to be, it's very dark, but there are things that are bright, right? Gon's demeanor is very bright.
It's a seinen in the body of a
Killua's
shonen.
relationship is very bright, right? And everything surrounding that and their friendship. And I also would say that I think that works better when the world is very dark, but these two in their relationship, and actually a lot of the things surrounding Killua in certain aspects, right? I think even Killua and Aluka's relationship is very bright as well, right? And it's kind of contrasted by this like dark fucking like gritty world where like, these are children in not a child's world, right? Like they're surrounded by adults. They're surrounded by like, the what's the name? The people that Kill was hunting. What are they? Are they the black spiders?
You mean Kurapika?
Or Kurapika, yeah, Phantom Troop. Thank you. They have a spider tattoo. That's what it is.
One of your favorite battle shonen.
Yeah. I'm dumb. Don't listen to me. But no, like I think that like they kill so many people in York, right? And here's the problem: is like people will say, oh well, it's still dark because dark things happen, like in York New. Just because a bunch of people die doesn't mean it's dark, right? Like 2011 doesn't portray this shit as like this like gross mass murder terrorism, like and it does, and it is bad. But like I think 2011 doesn't go like almost as far where like it's a very light color scheme, it's very bright, and a lot of times it's very focused on like Gon, and like almost like the show is reflective of Gon's demeanor. But I don't think that's how Hunter x Hunter is supposed to be, because I think a lot of the idea is that Gon is very wrong, right? That's like the entire like that like is Chimera Ant, right? Is that Gon is just like fucking wrong,
Well, what I was gonna say real quick is I think what's very reflective of like how the 2011 adaptation is just listening to how anime onlys and how manga readers discuss and talk about Greed Island.
Mm-hmm.
And I especially remember one example of this was back when I was following the PCP, and Nate and at the time Digi, they were playing a Shonen Jump fighting game, and Hunter x Hunter came up, and Nate was like, "Oh yeah, Chimera Ant arc is good, but Greed Island, where B was like
Greed Island
the river
sucks.
inverse."
Yeah.
And Nate had been reading Hunter x Hunter so long that he was reading Chimera Ant as it was coming out, which was over the course of like 10 years, by the way.
Right.
Where, of course, B had gotten to watch the anime and probably binged the whole thing in a few days. And, like, if you hear manga readers talk about, not even just Nate, like, this also applies to me to a degree, but Greed Island is a really fucking good arc. It is my second favorite arc in the series. And yeah, I do like Chimera Ant better, but, like, Greed Island just kind of gets ignored when it comes to anime watchers, because I don't think the anime really captures a lot of what is good about that arc. In just, like it's...
Yeah, I think...
I've heard even someone who, like, still considers 2011 a favorite, and like the manga as well, like, they think that Greed Island's, like, the worst done in the anime out of everything.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Well, yeah, and I would say that, like, the biggest tell for me... Because, I mean, okay, so... what, have you read the manga? Because I know... okay.
Yeah,
so,
would you already know I don't really think that highly
No, but let me
of
ask you a
Hunter,
question. This isn't, what do you think of Hunter x Hunter? Because I know you're going to be wrong about it and cringe.
I'm right. I'm always
would
right.
you guys say that the manga like has a consistent tone throughout?
I would say that, yeah.
Yeah.
It definitely
Because
does.
I would definitely say
like,
that.
here's
but
my
I feel
thing,
like
right?
2011.
Well, like, cause I remember, it was Alexander. He was the one who argued in his Genthru video series where he talks about the shifting tone, and he's like, oh, Togashi's manga, but he's talking about 2011, and I'm pretty sure he does not bring. So in the Hunter exam, like, yeah, he does point out that there is a lot of death in that isn't treated seriously. Like when the strawberry turtles or whatever eat people, like that's portrayed in a cartoony way. I'm pretty sure he doesn't bring up the scene where Hisoka in general is just fucking murdering people brutally all the time. Which is not presented in either anime. Yeah. Like, not even 99, the darker one, like, still tones him down a bit. But in the manga, the scene in particular I remember is there's Hisoka runs into Kurapika, Leorio, and some other guy in the swamp. Another guy who is not there in either anime adaptation. What happens is that guy says, hey, we should run the fuck away. Kurapika listens, and Leorio does it first, but he comes back and fights Hisoka, and then that's how Leorio passes Hisoka's test. Because he decided to fight even though there was no fucking chance. There's then another a full single page later where that guy is fucking dead, brutally murdered and pinned up against a tree. That is not a death that is being treated like a joke. This is a serious, brutal murder. And it's like kind of fucking dark because Hisoka went, you suggested they should run away. So you're going to die. Like Hisoka literally just fucking brutally murdered that guy. That is not adapted in either anime adaptation. And like that is a good indicator of like the manga was always dark. This is literally like chapter 11 or some shit. This is relatively early on.
It's super common, I feel, for people who really like Hunter x Hunter to say like, you know, I know B used to say this all the time. Like every arc feels different, right? There's such a different tone in every arc. I mean, and like I wouldn't say that. And like I would say for 2011, I do think that that's partially true. I think that there are some arcs where things are drastically different, right? The Hunter exam, honestly, in the anime, it feels like something like even just in, you know, without many changes, feels like something I would expect to see on like fucking like 4Kids, right? But that's not how Hunter x Hunter is, and I feel like this massive tone shift from arc to arc, and like sure people could enjoy that, but I don't think that that's what the story's like intended to be in a lot of ways, and so that's why I call it like a bad adaptation, because I don't think that the changes made are in service of the point a lot of the time.
Can I just say something real quick, right? Because, like, I feel like... Because I guess I have a different perspective on... You guys are going to say, oh, because you're wrong, right? But, like, I didn't get the whole feel of they were different every arc. Like, whenever people say that, I feel like that's just kind of, like, a thing. Because, oh my god, Ooga Booga, lots of people die in Chimera Ant. It's very dark. And it's like, I didn't get that, because as I was watching it I was just like... It just felt like the same. I just feel like because here's the reason why I guess the perspective of Chimera Ant is so much more positive is because it's like I guess I might be wrong on this, but I guess in terms of episode length, Chimera Ant takes up
it's like 68 episodes, I think.
Right. Yeah, it's the longest arc in the entire series, and it's given so much more focus because I guess the logic is that because 99 already adapted all the other fucking arcs, they might as well just fucking adapt this one last one.
I don't think that's true at all. I think you're wrong.
No, I think it's because 90
because
the first filler episode in that real quick.
Hello?
The first filler episode in 99 is episode 2. Like
I also
so literally
I was gonna say just I feel like proportionally Chimera Ant in 2011 is about as long as Chimera Ant it feels in the manga, like chapter to episode wise. Like, yeah, it takes a lot longer to get through, but I don't think it's like they were speeding through the other stuff. I think Chimera Ant's just a really long arc, so it took a long time to adapt episode wise.
Well, I do think they did cut. When you read fucking Greed Island, for example, there's a lot spent on like the mechanics of the game of Greed Island.
I mean,
like,
that is stuff that like that's the only arc I would say has that kind of thing.
It has what I mean is like the anime cut that out, right? The anime cut that out for a lot of like the finer details. I also don't know how anybody could say that fucking Greed Island isn't dark when Gon says the N-word, but like it's just
technically he says the N-word at the start of Chimera Ant.
That's
because
true.
that's how they get
My
to
bad.
Kite
Whoopsies.
to start Chimera Ant. So.
You're right. That's why Chimera Ant's the best arc. But like, well, like I get it because if you look at also like, there is one argument to be made, is that when you watch Hunter x Hunter 2011, you guys mentioned 99 has a more gothic feel, right?
Yeah.
If you look at the fucking color scheme or the colors that they use and the way the anime looks up until before Chimera Ant arc, I think it would be reasonable to watch the way they adapt that and see that the colors are like brighter.
Yeah.
Like for some reason they have like the funny like almost Pokemon anime color scheme going on for the Greed Island arc, and then from fucking
with this
Chimera Ant
horrific
onwards, it's just
serial killer going around.
Blue, and it's a lot bright. I mean, that's why I think that the bright color scheme is used the most in the first arc.
Yeah.
Which
And
is why
again,
I said it belongs on 4Kids, because it looks visually very much like fucking like Pokemon. And I would say that like Hunter x Hunter's manga never does that, where like it feels like something different than it becomes, like, you know, even with the color scheme, because that's what I mean when I say it's different. Like, it's not like because of the way it adapts it or what it chooses to show. It's literally the color scheme, and colors are a huge part
how
of
it
anime,
looks, yeah.
right? And having that lighter color scheme, that brighter
here's the
colors,
thing, right?
and the brighter music as well in the early arcs, and then it gets a lot darker with its music and its color scheme in Chimera Ant, and that's why I think people think it feels different, because that does add to it feeling different.
Well, here's the other thing, right? Is that like anime fans are also apes, so like they think that anything with a pretty color automatically means it's different somehow, right? So of course they would pick up on the fact that they would only pick up on the fact the Chimera Ant arc darker because the colors got darker, right? And character die now. And so like they would think that all of a sudden it's different. Like I forgot who I was fucking talking to, but they were like, yeah, at first it was like a typical shonen, but then as it got on, like by Chimera Ant, people were just dying and it was crazy. And I'm sitting there like thinking, and I'm like, we're gonna forget that there is like a fucking pedophile running around just murdering people the entire time. There's like three straight arcs with pedophile murdering people.
I think 2011 especially like just kind of neuters Hisoka by like taking out the darkness of the earlier parts of the story.
I think it's not that the dark things aren't in it. It's that they're underplayed in 2011 before Chimera Ant is how I would describe it. I think a lot of it's just underplayed and
So what you're saying is it needed more pedophilia.
Absolutely.
Well, like here, let me compare 3 scenes. And so in the manga, like okay, Hisoka is introduced cutting some dude's arms off in the where we get the big room with all the hunter applicants. In 2011, he turns his arm into flowers. This does not make sense for his Nen power. It just happens, and he's
a clown. He's a clown.
And 99 is even weirder, where he kind of like merges him with the stone, and he is just like half stuck in the stone wall. And I'm like, that doesn't make sense with his powers either. What are you doing? But at least 99, like when Hisoka gets bloodthirsty. Because he meets Kurapika and Leorio, and they talk their way out of an encounter, and he kind of like Gon even sees him and goes like, oh man, okay, yeah, he's gonna want to kill the next person he sees no matter what. They go all in on that shit in 99. Like they have like a whole fucking minute long sequence of him just like losing his fucking shit, and it is like it's creepy. And like so even if like at that point, you know, you could say he's neutered, after that point he's not anymore, where 2011 doesn't make up the difference, I think.
Yeah.
And, like it removes that one guy he kills that I mentioned earlier. Like
I think
it downplays Hisoka a lot, I think
Hisoka's
and that kind of fucks with the tone that Tokashi's going for.
He definitely feels like more of a non-factor, I think, in 2011. And I mean, part of that, right, does come down to, you know, and I don't even think this is the fault. In some level, it's not even the fault of 2011, because it's just when they adapted and where they stopped it. But for a majority of 2011, Hisoka's not a part of it, because Hisoka's not really a part of Chimera Ant, right? But then when you look at the manga, you know, after that, right, there's Chrollo Hisoka, there's all the stuff with Hisoka in the current arc, or I guess current arc, you know, the 2 year ago
or
arc.
that stuff that's building. Well, you know, he's there, and
right.
You know, it's gonna happen, right?
And well, hopefully.
Hopefully, yeah.
But yeah, I definitely think that, you know, the Hunter x Hunter 2011 anime, just like, I think it, like, I would say it butchers the manga. Like, I think it does such a bad job at being the same story as the manga and eliciting the same feel in the viewer or the reader, at least for me, that it literally went from like I like before I read Hunter x Hunter, I was like thinking things weren't good. I didn't like Gon v Pito because I was like, this doesn't like it, because it doesn't feel like, I would say that like Gon v Pito doesn't feel like Gon's character in 2011, because Gon is like such like a happy-go-lucky. I mean, he's almost lionized in a lot of 2011, right? Because it's focusing on more like a lot of the happy aspects, and things always kind of work out well for him. But the manga, I felt, went a lot harder into like, Gon's kind of a psychopath, and this is not going to end well for him, right? And that's what Gon v Pito ultimately is. The way he views things. And the way he
and
treats
Tokashi's
the world.
mentioned in at least one interview that Gon kind of has to be crazy for a character like him,
right?
And so
he's different from Goku.
Well, that's true, because
right?
Goku has never been wrong in his life. Goku was built different.
Right. Anyway, I think we have one more person left.
Yeah, you, right?
Or
you and none.
you
And
done.
You and none.
No,
I already
none.
went. I
only
lied.
Oh yeah, you're right.
Dumbass.
Wait, yeah.
What the heck?
I'm sorry, I forgot.
I mean, I guess I'll just go real quick. Reborn, like Hidekyo Hitman Reborn, used to be like a favorite. Now it's like a 7. I still think it's like, what the heck? Okay, that's rude.
What? I just said bruh. Hello?
No, he's right. It is. It's a 7 or a 6. None's right.
What the heck?
What?
Anyway, you haven't even finished
Yeah.
it.
This is such a rude moment from Vindy.
There's a reason I didn't. Continue.
Oh my god! Oh my god!
So rude.
I hate rude people like
Anyway.
Vindy Mondo.
I mean, like, you know, even now I still like it. Like, I still really think that, like, Suna's, like, a really good character. And I really like Gokudera. Like, I really love a moment that Vindy didn't get to that I'm just going to spoil for him because he hates the series.
Understandable. I think you make the right choice. None.
Go ahead and say it.
Okay, so, like, basically, like, a character who's talking to Gokudera, like, points out all these flaws that Suna still has. Like, he's terrible in school. He, you know, is unconfident. He you know, is a little bit of a, like, he can be a pervert, kind of. And, like, she's just saying all these things. And, like, the series up till now kind of made it seem like Gokudera just straight up didn't notice. Like, he's, I mean, like, it's, like, played up as kind of like a joke sometimes where Gokudera is just, like, so into the idea of Suna that he doesn't, like, see any of his flaws. But then, like, Gokudera, when he has all those things pointed out, just says, so what? Like, he literally, like, doesn't care. And he's like, you know, it's straight up, like, he knew this entire time. And, you know, like, I really like Gokudera. He's, like, super good. And, like, Suna in general just has, like, a really good arc, across the series that I really like. Like, throughout, over time, he's kind of, like, more and more into the idea of, like, you know, at first he doesn't want to, you know, be a part of the mafia family that he has and, you know, do these dangerous things. But over time, he kind of just realizes that, like, Reborn, you know, makes his life better in a lot of ways. Like, even if, you know, he doesn't necessarily want to be, the boss of the mafia family, he's like, you know, it did give him friends and it, like, you know, changed his life. So yeah, like, I really like that part of the series. The series has, like, a really cool ending. Like I think about, like, this one page that's, like, so good. And, like sometimes I do think about it and it's like, I really wish I still, liked it as much as I used to, because especially because that moment's, like, so out of, like, nowhere, kind of, sort of, like, it's not something you would have expected. But, like, now it's just kind of like, I don't think a lot of, like, the cast is, like, amazing, I guess. Like, I don't think they're bad, but, like, I really, like, out of the main family members, I only like Suna and Gokudera. And, yeah, I don't think that, like, Chrome, like the girl in the group, is that good. Lambo, I guess I do kind of like, but he's not, like, a super standout character. Like, a lot of them are just kind of like as I, like, when I reread the series, I wasn't, like, impressed with anything they did. And only liking 2 out of the 7 Guardians, which are, you know, that's what.
Wait, which 2?
Suna and Gokudera.
Okay.
I mean, I don't
You hate
dislike the
Yamato,
other
you're
ones,
cringe.
but, like,
He's literally the friendship man.
what the heck?
And I really fucked up when I didn't put what the heck on the fucking Nunmanji
Like, he really
video.
is. Like, okay, I don't know. Okay, I have a question for you, Nun, about a moment, because I want to see how you. I assume you like it, but, like, if you think this moment's, like, related to what you're talking about, which is the moment when he. Okay, so it's in the future arc, right? And he's training with oh my god, what's his name? Hibari. And, like, there's, like, the moment where he sees, like, the previous, you know what I mean? And, like, he makes his decision, and that's, like, how he unlocks, like, his big power up for that arc, like the X burner. You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah.
Like, would you agree that, like, that moment's, like, really good and, like, ties in with the whole idea of, like, how he, you know, feels about the mafia and stuff?
Yeah. I mean, I like that moment a lot. Like, I like Suna a lot.
Yeah.
Like, you know, you'd still be considered, like, a favorite character. Like, not, like, top 10, but, like, I don't know. You'd be close.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. Because I almost feel like I have almost, like, a different problem than you with Reborn, which is, like, I mean, for one, I have to say, I think my biggest, like, not my biggest, but one of my biggest problems is legitimately the scan quality. and I've talked about, but I think when you get to this point where these fights have so many like fire effects and effects, and they're using the boxes, and there's all this shit right in a panel, very much like reading the bad scans feels like reading Samurai 8, where there are panels where I just don't fucking know what's going on. But I actually don't think it's the art, because anytime I see a page in one of those fights that's like good scan quality, it's really good and it looks super sick. It's just that like the scans are so bad that in a lot of the fights and a lot of the big moments, I literally can't see what's going on. And so I think that like that's part of it for me. And then it's also that like I almost just, and maybe it is really just the scans, but there's like so many of the fights I feel like I almost just like don't like, and almost like once it gets serious, like, because I really like some of the stuff, especially, maybe I'm cringe, but like I think the most I enjoyed the manga was like the early shit. Like I actually really liked the early stuff, because I like a lot of the characters and I like their interactions, right? The Guardians that are like part of, I guess, like Suna's daily life, right? So like I like Gokudera a lot. I love Yamato. I like Lambo. I think he's funny. I like Suna. Even though they're not Guardians, I like Ipin. I like Gokudera's sister. I like a lot of these characters. And so when they're just interacting and having a good time, it's really fun. But it did reach a point for me where it's like some of the serious arcs and some of the setup, like the current arc I was like trying, or the arc I was on, which I think is the last arc of the manga. I was trying to. It's not.
No, there's two other arcs. You were on Future,
I finished
right?
Future. I was on the arc where it's like he's going towards his like commencement ceremony, and there was like the other mafia family that was there.
Well, no, there's still one more arc.
Like I was reading and I just like realized I was like, I do not care about this setup at all.
The heck?
And I don't know why, because I do enjoy parts of the manga. Like I think it is.
I mean, I feel like if you continued there, you might be a little more into it, because like the two arcs after Future are a lot more like simplified. Like there is more like kind of relaxing daily-ish things going on. Like it's not things like constant battles or constant like things going on.
Understand.
There's a lot more interactions in those.
Where I'm reading, Manga Stream was doing the scans, so like it's boomed. It's boomed.
I know.
And it's so funny because when I was first reading manga and I was reading Manga Stream, I was like, I don't get why people don't like Manga Stream. I get it now. Manga Stream are terrible. I'm glad they're dead. They don't deserve to be alive.
No, yeah, Manga Stream sucks. I was only half listening, but I can jump on board for that.
It's kind of funny too that they were they were translating the specific part of the series they were, because like in the arc after what you're reading right now, Suna's like a little like kind of angsty about some things, so it's like of course they would get like the parts where they can really insert their kind of way of translating.
Yeah, so I don't know. I mean, I think it's like a 6 or a 7. I probably like it more than 100, 120, 11.
But yeah, it's just like a series that I don't like super love at the current moment anymore, just because I don't love the cast. Like, other than like Suna and Gokudera, I would say there's characters I like, but I don't like love them.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe I'm forgetting someone. Maybe there could be like a third person, but and like generally I think that like I do kind of have like problems with like Future kind of sorta. Not really because like your reasoning, just because some of it is kind of like I don't want to say it's too long, but like there are sections of it where I'm not as invested in it. Especially because it's like such a big arc compared to everything else. Like even the final two arcs, they're pretty short, really. And there's a lot more like breaks in between what's happening, and like I don't know. Like I feel like it balances things a lot better than Future does, where there's just like so many battles and like so many things going on.
Mm-hmm.
All right, I guess that about covers it for the topic.
Yeah.
All right, Kanajo Kanajo.
Oh my god,
phenomenal, amazing. I love Milky-sama.
All right.
She's the best character.
Yep, I know. She's stinky. That's exactly why you like her.
She smelled.
Yeah, that's exactly why he loves her.
She sweat a
Cringe,
lot.
Actually. Oh my god. Hey, Craftsdwarf, want to see my favorite, one of the greatest lines in all of
now
cinema?
You're being a Chad, sure.
Yeah. Look at this
Look at
fucking
her.
line.
Phenomenal.
Look at these fucking lines. He says, Craftsdwarf, put him on screen.
Yeah.
Look at what he says. I don't care about your G cups. I'd rather squeeze the boobs of the girl I like.
No, look. I mean, I'll get to Naoya being a Chad because he's actually a hero in this episode, and I love what he does so much.
Yeah, I know. Because he rejects.
She's not white. Don't say white woman. Okay.
Streamer.
Be gone, thought.
But I have to talk about how much I love Milky
She
Sama
sleeps
first.
outside like a dog. She literally has a dog house for
tent.
herself. Okay, but it's a dog house in her case. Okay, should we call the cops? Yes. Call the cops on the white woman. Get her off my
She's
fucking
not a fucking
porch.
white woman. You
Bark,
stupid
bark, bark.
fucking bitch.
Bark, 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 bark. Bark, 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 bark. That's what you're like.
I want to make her
Remember
bark
that
like
shit?
a dog.
Fucking weird.
No, she's great. I mean, I love her. She's so stupid. I love that her entire reason right now for what, like, at first it was like, you know, she was worried that they were like, you know, gonna like give up her fucking secret and shit. Now it's literally he rejected her and she thinks she's so hot that nobody should ever reject her because she has big tits. So she has to like,
Proving once again that big tits aren't everything.
so she has to like, try to convince him, oh my god, to date her, and she's just like an idiot about it. And she's just fucking Amaranth, like she's just taking videos of her tits, and like that's like her YouTube channel. That's also great. I love it. I love her. She's so good. She's so great.
Yeah, I'm very glad that he's like doing his best to deny her because like he does love his girlfriends and just like hey you know
Shadley,
hey you know what you are hot
amazing.
but
Well,
no.
Well, I love the reason he says no at first. It's not even because like he agrees like yeah you're really cute, you know, and I'm sure you're a great person, but like you don't want to be with me for the right reasons, right? Because like that's how you see it, right? Is like the reason he got with Nagise, I think, when she, you know,
Nagisa specifically fell in love with him.
tried so hard
for him, right? And that's what moved him to being with her. And now, could we see that with Milky? Absolutely. I think that's like very much where it's going. Where because we even saw in this episode, he is very preoccupied with what to do about her, and he's worried about her. And I could see that, like, you know, he kept mentioning how strong she was, right? And I'm sure that'll be the reason he grows to like her is that strength and that ability to just take what she wants. But like at a certain point for him right now, it's like you don't want to date me because you like me. You want to date me because of these extra reasons. They're very superficial. And she didn't get that at first, right? Because she thought that it was, you know, he's just this. Because she even mentions like you're very like open for like a 2-timer, right? So I think that's very much where we're going. Is like she'll realize that he's not just like this 2-timing scumbag, but he's like this really nice, genuine guy who just like had 2 girls that he liked that liked him. He didn't know what else to do. And I think that'll happen with her. But it'll be in a way that like I'm super okay with because it'll be like genuine. Like they actually start to like each other. You know what I mean?
Hey, Vindy.
What
do you think about the absolute dog shit take that like this is like this isn't the best show about polygamy this season?
No one has seen Realist Heroes, so no one else can argue.
But he has
one episode.
He has.
It didn't have polygamy.
One episode should be enough.
It didn't have polygamy
to
in the episode I saw, so I don't know if it's about polygamy.
Yeah, well, bad.
No,
show.
I mean, look, I definitely. Fuck, dude. This show's so good. It really is, and I'm really down for the way it's going.
That's psychopath,
and here's
bro.
Two things. One, none. When Vindy's done, I don't know. You haven't been quiet, and you got mad the first time we talked about the show, and you didn't have anything. You weren't able to say anything.
Oh my god! Now he's guilting him.
I'm guilting you guys, motherfuckers.
No,
shut up.
Impossible. I feel no guilt.
Anyway, Vindy, you were still going on.
I have a lot to say because I definitely think I'm gonna rate this show the highest at the end of the season. But here's what I'm curious about. Okay, when it comes time for her to join, right, and he invites her, are the other 2 down for it? Are they down to clown? Have they understood that it's gonna happen? I really don't know.
They called her strong.
But I'm very
really
interested
funny, right?
to see, and that's I think the thing I'm most excited for right now is to see if they want her to be a part of it as well.
Hi, Nun.
Hi, Nun.
Hey, Crafts. Hey, what?
How you doing, man?
Doing all right.
Cool. Did you have anything to say about the episode? Did you watch the episode?
I did.
Okay, I was about to
That's
say.
so toxic of you. That's so toxic of you to say. No,
Maybe you literally asked him to be reminded. I'm wondering, well, maybe he forgot again. Like, and that would have been. Would that have been really funny if you go anyway? Like, that would have been really funny. Okay, like I was setting you up for a joke, but you had watched the episode, so okay, that's all it was.
What did you think of Milky Sama?
She's definitely like up there. I feel like she could be the best one, maybe, just because she's like so clearly the dumbest one too. Because like, you know, she's literally camping out there for someone who she just met.
Because he rejected her is the only reason too. Can't forget that part.
Yeah,
she's too stupid to function.
I'm sure she has a lot of people who watch her videos and thinks that
Simp out of this world.
You know, yeah, and then like Nalia just rejects her. So it's just like it's just funny to see someone who has so many things going for her doing this for some random person she just met.
What? Can you talk to me about?
So you guys wanted to talk about?
No. I do definitely, but I wanted to ask another question first. I wanted to give him one more chance to talk about something. And then, what did you think about the scene when Nalia was in the bathtub?
It was good. It was funny.
Oh my god!
There was this line that he said that I can't remember what it was, but it was something that I wanted to bring up, but I don't remember what it was. The heck?
I was what?
What? Why are you being so rude?
I didn't. What? Oh my god! Hello.
Okay. Well.
What?
Oh.
Oh my god.
Okay, so the music.
Oh my god.
I have been begging someone because I'm stupid and dumb and my brain is the size of a peanut. Okay. I've been begging someone to remind me. Well, generally it's because I just get distracted by Milky Sama.
Wait. I'm sorry. I like the part where Saki was trying to shake her boobs in front of Nalia, but then she was like, "They're too small. I can't hit him."
Look, that scene was so funny to me because the show. Because a lot of times, I don't know if you guys do this, but when I'm watching a show, I keep expecting something to happen, right? And then a lot of times it does. That scene, there were multiple times where I expected something to happen, and it never happened. Like, I thought she was going to try to wave her boobs in his face, and she was going to fall in, right? When Nagisa first fell, and she slipped, I thought she was going to fall with, like, her face on his dick, right? I thought at the end he was going to come up with something, he was going to stand up and just flash them all, because he forgot he was in the bathtub, because he's that dumb, right? Like, I kept expecting, like, these things to happen that never happened. And that's always surprising to me, because I feel like a lot of times, you know, I've read enough romance manga and harem manga and stuff to, like, I know what's going to happen, you know, like, especially when it's, like, a very tropey scene. I feel like a lot of times I get an idea of what's going to happen, and so if that's not what happens, generally it makes me laugh way harder, because it is, like, a surprise, you know? But I want to talk about the music, because my small peanut brain keeps forgetting, because Milky's in the EDs, and that's all I'm calling her, by the way. That's her name. She's in the ED, and I get distracted. But the music in this show might be one of the funniest parts about it, because it's so good. But, like, the music is almost like music for a different show. Like, the music will get so serious, right? And, like, it'll slap so hard and be, like, this, like, epic, awesome, like, song for, like, them talking about how Naoya wants to have sex with him or something, right? Like, it'll be, like, this, like, super small minor scene, or just, like, this funny scene that's, like, making you laugh. And the music is, like, this super, like, awesome, epic, like, song. You're like, yeah, like, it's so good. And, like, using both to, like, you know, like, the music is almost like how the characters see it, but then when you're watching it from the outside, the music just adds to make it funnier, because, like, what's really going on is just fucking dumb, and these characters are stupid, but to them, it's, like, the most serious thing of all time, you know? It's very good. Yeah. That's really all I'm going to say about the music. Is, like, I think it's really good, and I think it enhances the show a lot.
I don't have anything more to say about the episode.
Why are you toxic?
So, Nun, what have you been up to lately?
Oh my god.
Why are you... What the heck?
Weekly roundup, but you're first.
No, not you.
Oh.
What's reaction?
No, not to that. Whatever. Go ahead, Nunmanji.
Okay, so I read Nagatoro recently. It's like so good. Like, it's so much like cuter and like better than like I feel like it gets represented by people, because people make it like seem more cringe than it is, I guess. Like
Okay, well, I can tell you why that is, but I want you to talk about it first, and then I'll explain why, because it's gonna be a little bit of a rant.
Okay. Like it's just like I guess the thing that I like about Nagatoro, like the character, is that like she's like just as I guess naive and kind of like innocent about like sexual things as Senpai is. Like she, she teases him and says that he's a virgin and like kind of prompts these like sexual situations, but like she doesn't actually want to do anything, and she's like even just like holding his hand is something that she like can't handle. Like she can't even do that.
I love
so
when he asks
like,
for her first name and she like, loses her fucking mind.
Yeah, like I love how like she's like so into him, like even like super early on, so where it's just like it's so. And then like I love the part where like as the series goes and as like she's like so clearly like invested in him, and like it isn't just that she's bored or that she's just like messing with him. Like even her friends who like kind of join in on like messing with him at a certain point just like view them as like almost like they're a couple. Like they're not, but like like they already see that like she's isn't like just messing with him. And I don't know, it's like it's just really cute. I really like it. I really like reading it. Like I kind of wish there was a little bit more, but unfortunately I caught up. I don't know, it's a very enjoyable read. It makes me smile. I definitely like super freak out at moments where like Nagatoro or Senpai's like more forward with like liking each other, like like they both are into each other, but like they can't really express it in a way because like Nagatoro has to keep up this idea of like she doesn't want to reveal that she's like super into him because she's just like she's supposed to be messing with him, and like he doesn't want to get bullied by admitting that he likes her.
Okay, so my really quick rant, none about it is that, like, okay, so I think part of the reason people overplay like the cringe stuff is because like you got to remember when like Nagatoro started, right? Like it was originally like I don't know, it was like a manga on Pixiv or something, right? That was like really popular, and then it got turned into a like a serialized manga. And when that happened, a lot of people were talking and reading about Nagatoro, right? Like right when it started. And I think people do. I almost did the thing that Vindy legitimately never does about this the other day because I was thinking about it. It was pissing me the fuck off. But like I think that there's like a very common thing where people will read, because there's a lot of these, and none. I know you read a bunch of them. Because I read a bunch, and I always see you posting screenshots from ones I've read. Right, like there's a Kubo-san, Nagatoro. There's a couple others that I've read, but like there's like these very cute romance manga, right? That like aren't harems or anything. It's very much like about a boy and a girl, and like kind of like not the premise, but the appeal is very much in these cute interactions that they have chapter to chapter, right? And as it goes, things do happen, and they do get closer, and the relationship progresses, right? But the core of the manga are these cute daily interactions between the boy and the girl, right? And very much like the idea is like as these interactions happen more, they get closer and closer and things like that. I think that like it's super common that like I guess people will start one of these and they'll read it, but because they either haven't read any or the only ones of them they've read are finished, or because they're just cringe and misunderstand like the entire like main appeal of the manga they're reading, they complain that like, oh, nothing's happening, and they just drop it because they got tired of nothing changing, right? Because like I've been current since before because I would say Nagatoro has a lot of conflict. There's a bunch of arcs that have conflict, right? There's the school festival arc, there's the judo arc, there's like the current stuff that with the date that they're going on, and so there is a lot of progression, I would say, in their thing. But it's like people also forget, like when you're reading weekly, it's like just because nothing's happened in the 20 weeks you've been reading it, right? The half a year you've been reading it, it's 20 chapters in. It's still laying the baseline to continue with, And I know a bunch of people who were reading Nagatoro a lot at the start and talking about how hot she is, and then stopped reading it because, oh, nothing's happening, and I'm tired of nothing happening. You didn't even get to the festival, which is 45 chapters. You didn't even read it for 50 chapters. You can't say nothing happened. You didn't give it time for something to happen, right? But that's a really common thing with these romance manga where people, and so because of that, people have read 20 chapters of Nagatoro as it came out, stopped reading it, and then just talk about like what those first 10, 15 chapters are, because that's all they've read. because Nagatoro was so popular when it was first coming out. And that's like my biggest problem, I guess, with I guess the way people talk about the series is, and just romance manga like that, is like they completely miss, like, I guess, the appeal of the manga, right? And that, like, not only the appeal, but like, as someone who reads a shit ton of romance manga as it runs, right? Like, I read so many romance manga where I catch up in the first 20 chapters and just read it for like years until it finishes, right? Like, things don't happen that fast, right? That's just, first of all, you know, I do think that there is, you know, maybe the cultural aspect of how more reserved people are more reserved in Japan. I also think that just like, that's kind of how the manga goes, right? Like, you know, most of these manga don't make it to 20 volumes. They're done before 4 years have passed. That's not that long for a manga, right? If a romance manga is 150 chapters, yeah, that's not that long. But when you catch up on chapter 30, like, think about it like this, like they got together in Kaguya, right? I think before 150, you know? So not even 3 years, but people acted like it was the longest thing ever, right? It was so long that nothing was happening. That's not the case. You just don't actually stop and think about like the manga you're reading and, you know, how many chapters have actually passed and how long it's been. You just want something to happen right now because it's not as bad. And people are really cringe about that. And so I think that happened a lot with Nagatoro, and that's why people like overemphasize like certain aspects. Because I definitely think Nagatoro changed a lot, because I do think very early on it was just like her it was just her like bullying him, right? And she was, I mean, I feel like even faces. Early on, when I say early on, I'm talking
she's like cool.
I'm talking like first like 5 chapters, none.
Well,
okay,
I've heard the similar things about Komi-san, like
yeah, and it's not true.
Like,
people say the same thing about Kaguya, and it's not true about that.
People are so dumb they don't understand the whole Mambagi thing.
Yeah,
right?
and so that's kind of the problem, I think, with a lot of these romance manga, is that like people are just really cringe about them and like don't actually like. The problem is people don't read enough of them, right? People will read one of them, and then that's like their only experience, right? Like Horimiya is like the exact same as all these other manga, and people will just read Horimiya and like, you know what I mean? Like that's it. It's like, yeah, I'd probably say Horimiya is my favorite of all this type of manga, but there's a bunch of them that are all really good. I think Nagatoro's really good. I think Kubo-san's really good. I think Gal Gohan was really good. I think there's a live streaming manga. It's a little bit more of a harem that I'm reading right now. Is really good. What else is there? There's a couple others I can't remember the name of off the top of my head. I think Uzaki-chan's pretty good. That's another one that's very much like it. And in Uzaki-chan, they're like about to get together. Like it's like happening. Right, and like the problem is that people just don't actually read enough of these to like know, you know what I mean, like how the genre works. But I would say Nagatoro is like top of the genre. Like it's like one of my favorites. It's so fucking good, and like Nagatoro has a lot of conflict, and I love that most of Nagatoro's conflict literally comes down to someone is either flirting with Senpai or Nagatoro thinks they are, and so she gets like jealous and tries to like keep him all to herself, right? Because she very clearly does like him, right? And that's,
well, I think it's not even that like she thinks it's flirting. It's just like other people doing what she does to him is something she did not like
when her friends tried it, right? And that was like when they understood.
Yeah,
like I mean, like the arc with the president, right? Like she was legitimately worried, right, about their interactions. Her president's younger sister at first, right? And then now there's the current stuff. I think the judo arc was different and really good. Like I could see people, I absolutely, that's something I could see people like not even thinking is good, when I thought like the judo stuff was so good. It was such like a great example of like, you know,
like this, you know, it has different goals, I guess, than what the other parts of the manga have.
But it was much more like about Nagatoro's character and about like her shit, right? And I thought it was super, super sick.
And I love that, like, even Senpai's, like, in on, like, you know, training for the judo thing, even though he's, like, you know, he's just this, like, nerd loser, but he's, like, actually, like, partaking in it, and it actually has, like, a match with, like, you know, it's pretty good match.
I mean, it has to be said, right? But Nagatoro's so fucking hot.
Yeah, I'll send some pictures.
And I didn't like her at first, because I'm not a fan of Flesh Fangs, and in a lot of the early art, and I mean, even in some of the pictures you posted, her Flesh Fangs really pronounced, but I don't even mind it anymore. Like, I'm just over it, because she's so good. So...
there's a quintessential
one, like, the sporty clothes bending over is really hot.
Dude, there's like a 1 or 2 fucking hot ass panels for in every chapter. It's super good. I would definitely recommend Nagatoro. God, oh my fucking god,
that wasn't the one I was thinking of, but it's still also good.
God fucking hell, dude. You can't post that. I'm not even gonna fucking focus now. God, how is she real? No, like, I don't know. I think, yeah, it's really good. I would recommend Nagatoro to anyone. I think, you know, if you're gonna read it, I guess understand the kind of manga you're reading and don't complain when nothing's happening, because things are happening. It's not even slow. It's just you're reading it weekly, so it takes a lot of real life time. But, like, the first major Nagatoro arc ends, I think, in the 40s, so it's not even 5 volumes before it happens.
Well, here's what I think the problem is. Like you said it, but I just kind of like I want to expand on it with like an example like Kimi ni Todoroki, where it's like, even if what people perceive as nothing is like, they have like this idea of what the main plot is, right? Or like what the focus, like what the thing is, and it can't be anything other than what this thing is, right? Like with Naruto, if anything's happening that isn't hard work beats talent, they think the story has betrayed its themes, right? If with Kimi ni Todoroki, right, there's a long time when you're reading it where a certain romance doesn't quote unquote develop, but in the interim, there's other things that are developing, because Kimi ni Todoroki is also a manga about friendship, right? So even though they're not fucking getting closer to fucking sucking each other's tongues or whatever, right? They're developing relationships outside of that relationship in order to like further cement why those two are gonna end up together, right? So like, it's the same thing with everything, right? It's why there are dumb fucks who like read Nisekoi and they're like, nothing happened in Nisekoi, it's just a bunch of filler, and it's like, no, God. Dumbass, they're fucking trying to explain to you why Raku feels this way, why Chidoge is like building her resolve, and why Onodera is trying her best not to confess.
Yeah, and I would agree with that.
Honestly, if people can't even get over that like issue in something like Nagatoro, where it's like Nagatoro is like so streamlined, and if people are still saying the same
have friends
kinds of things about it even after,
I'm mad about it because it's just such a cringe take. But it's like, what am I gonna do? Yell at my friend and call him an idiot?
Okay, it's so fast and streamlined, and just like I don't get it.
You know what's a fucking even worse egregious example is like, because like it's not even just like with romance series, it's more pronounced because people are so fucking dumb about romance series they can't pay attention for like 5 seconds. But an even bigger example is like Gurren Lagann, right? Yeah. Where it's like there are people who fucking drop that shit. Like I've heard, like fucking Toolman told me that there's someone who dropped it at the fucking halfway, like after episode 8 happens, because that's what they perceive the show to be. And it's like, no, dumbass, there's something else going on.
Right. Well, yeah, and I want to touch on your thing with Nisekoi really quickly, because like the reason I didn't bring up Nisekoi, right, was because like, even though like I would say Nisekoi is probably more like harem than romance, like ultimately Nisekoi is it is a harem, right? And like specifically, like I think that the time that I think the most about this problem is with like the two main character romance series where it's like two characters that from, and like obviously, you know, you could respond, well, you know, Raku and Chitoge are gonna get together from chapter 1, but that's not the kind of manga I'm talking about. So don't respond like that, because you'd be cringe if it's the point of what I'm saying. But like where there's two main characters and it's obvious from the beginning that they're gonna get together, and it's watching them, and Nisekoi does do this part, but it's watching them change as people so they can get together, right? And so it takes this like approach where it's like you watch them change through their daily lives and through these like small things that happen, right? It might be a festival. It might be like, oh, our like in Nagatoro, the major one's like, oh, our PE classes are making us do a big judo tournament for the entire school. It's like this major moment of growth for both Senpai and Nagatoro, right? And that's like the thing is that like specifically with these 2-person romance series, I think people expect, because it's only 2 people, oh, they have to get together right away, because there are, you know, series where they get together right away, right? In for example, in Horimiya, they get together right away. In Bonoji is another romance series that's 3 volumes, so they get together right away. But just because they don't get together right away doesn't mean it's not good, because a lot of times the point of these manga is how these characters change to get together, right? It's like the character, like even though Nagatoro and Senpai very early on, right, like each other, they can't start dating at that time because they're both as people not ready for that, right? So you have to watch them grow and change as people so that they can start dating. And I think people don't give the series the time to let that happen.
It's like when you really hear them talk about it, right? It's like when you really question, like, because they act like, oh, if I were in their shoes, I would just do this, and it's like, no,
Dude,
you fucking
anyone
wouldn't.
on fucking
No,
anyone
you
who's an
fucking
anime
wouldn't.
fan, and you know what? I'll include me in this. Would freeze up worse than Senpai does around Nagatoro. None of us are fucking goat enough to just like take it back, give it back to her, right? Well, no, okay, I give it to her, but I wouldn't like hit her with what she's hitting me with, right? No, you wouldn't do it in the right way. You'd do it in a way that made her not like you. Yeah, exactly.
I ruined her entire career.
But that's also because you're a fucking sociopath, gaslighter.
Yeah, that's true.
So I don't know. I think that there's definitely like Nagatoro is really good, and people need to grow up and not be so cringe. By the way, what? I like the one you're doing now more than the one you were doing before.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. I'm trying to think of a better way to do it.
But yeah, I don't know if you have any more to say about Nagatoro.
No, it's just really good. I think people should read it, and it's really nice that a lot of chapters are out now. So
who's next? Is it what?
Hello. Well, yeah, it is me. All right, so
we're not.
We are doing 2 rotations.
We're not doing 2 rotations. Okay. Holy fuck!
Then I'll talk about this one.
Craftsdwarf's so mad that we're already over 3 hours
because I think it makes me more angry. I guess I'll kind of mention this. I've been listening to a bunch of fucking albums, right, of just different artists. I listened through the first. I listened through My Beautiful Dark Twisted Fantasy first, and then I've been all chained between a Kanye album. And then I listened Straight Outta Compton, Kanye album again. Then I listened to fucking
great album.
America's
by the
Most
way.
Wanted.
You never told me about it, but I
Kanye album
love
again.
Joey Badass.
The problem is, the most recent album that I listened to made me so upset, and I'm just gonna fucking just rant about this one. Pre-drugs Eminem. Drugs Eminem is so bad. What?
Oh, just because it's not the most recent album you listened to.
No, I know, but I'm talking about the one I finished. I'm not done
sorry.
with Graduation. Drugs Eminem is so bad. Fucking the Slim Shady LP is the most, like, I'm so upset listening to it, right? Because here's the thing. Ice Cube's first album, fucking phenomenal. Kanye's first album, fucking phenomenal. Fucking NWA's first album, fucking phenomenal. All of them have these first albums that flow so well, have all these, like, do these things that, like, keep the energy up the entire time, have, like, consistent, like, little through lines out, make it really fun to listen to, right? Really good. I mean, fucking The College Dropout ends with Kanye just talking shit for like 5 minutes. It's so good, right? The Slim Shady LP really highlights what I guess like is the problem. Because here's the thing, right? I think it's funny that when you really listen to the Slim Shady LP, that early Eminem, all this motherfucker raps about is that he's white, that he's on drugs, that he's gonna kill his ex, or that he did kill his ex, and that he's crazy.
So
maybe if he's feeling spicy, he'll bring up the fact that he's white and raps.
I don't know fully about Eminem's story, but here's what I will say about what you're talking about, because I don't think you're completely right. At least when you think about it in the context of the music industry.
Why is that?
A lot of these rappers, especially the NWA or whatever NWO. Sorry. NWA. Sorry, NWA. Yeah, you're right. It's not Without Authority. I got it confused with New Order. It was fucking wrestling shit. Especially for the NWA. A lot of them started rapping on the streets, right? Kanye has a shit ton of mixtape stuff from before his first studio album. The NWA were all like street, like gangster rappers, right? Where they were rapping like in their gangs. They were doing rap battles and they were doing things on the streets rapping. Right, so before they get their record label and get produced and make their first that's why there's a very big thing that's a rapper's first studio album, right? Because a lot of rappers have a lot of work that's a little bit harder to find, but you can find, especially for Kanye, that's before their studio stuff, right? And I don't know if Eminem has as much as others do. He might. I don't know enough about his career, but like Kanye had a lot before he made College Dropout. NWA definitely did a lot of rapping, even if it wasn't a lot of recorded rapping. Right,
all of them individually.
Exactly. No.
I part of a group.
I know
beforehand.
that, but still, right? Like as a group, they probably did a lot of stuff still before. So it's hard, I think, to just look at it as like, oh well, these guys' first albums were really good and Eminem's wasn't, because like I do think that like there's a very big difference, especially with rap, where it's like there's a lot that happens before, like there's a lot of stuff they do and stuff on the streets and stuff before their first studio album, right? And I just don't know enough about Eminem's career. But also, you know, you have to think, especially for rappers that are on the coasts or on the streets in very big cities for rapping, it would be similar to like sports in a way, right? Where if you're, you know, if I'm, you know, like a athlete, right? And the sport I'm doing, I'm in the place where it is the most competitive and I'm up against the best competition, right? I'm going to grow and evolve a lot faster than other athletes that are in areas of worse competition, right? Because just my competition's higher, the level I'm going at is higher, and I have to keep up, right? And that definitely happens for a lot of rappers in the 80s and 90s, and even now, right? That are doing it on the street, that are doing it in gangs, and things like that. Now, I agree with you that Slim Shady LP is not good. But I don't think it's fair to look at it as like first album versus first album, right? Because the experiences are completely different leading into it. Sorry,
I get that, but again, I'm talking about
I know, but I just think
right? Where it's just when you're listening to it and really thinking about the first album they put
again,
out.
It's
right?
not their first album that they put out; it's their first studio album. So it's the first that you could find on like Spotify or Apple Music. So I think calling it like their first album is not completely valid.
Like, okay, if you're gonna fight semantics on me, fine, I'll take the L on that. But I'm just gonna talk about the fact that this is like the first big thing they put out, like the first big thing that's their thing out. If we're gonna fight semantics, then I'll specify the first big thing they put out, because I understand that they've been rapping for like on the streets and shit like that. But also I'm just looking at recognizing it as like a listening experience, and just the fact that I was listening to so many good things at once, and then I hear the Slim Shady LP and it's bad.
Right.
It's just an interesting thing to look at. So I haven't even said a word about it, aside from the fact that Eminem only raps about the fact that he's white. And like, it's just frustrating to listen to, especially given all the especially because I for a while also held like Eminem was in this really high regard, but then again, it's because like you told me a while ago, you told me earlier today, and it makes sense that his best shit is when it's like a fucking best hits thing, right? And that's mainly what everybody listens to. Whenever anybody talks about Eminem, it's like they bring up his best hits, right? Which is like, again, when he has a good song, it's a really fucking good song. But my God, it is so hard to listen to the Slim Shady LP when it's like, okay, Slim Shady LP has two songs that I actually give a shit about. Like that I actually would say I would listen to. It's Role Model and it's fucking
both of which are on his best hits.
My Name is
both of those are on Curtain Call. Yeah.
Yeah, of course they are. Like a fucking course there, because it's like when you fucking who the fuck is listening to 97 Bonnie and Clyde, right? Where fucking Eminem's just like, I killed her. Hey Haley, your mommy's fucking sleeping. She's sleeping. Throw her in the water. And it's like, okay,
right.
Thank you. There's only okay. I guess what fucking drives me insane.
You don't like Stan?
Drives me at the fucking wall. Is that like
you don't like Stan? Oh wait, no. Stan's not on. Sorry, I was looking at the Marshall Mathers LP. Not Slim Shady LP 1. I apologize.
Yeah. No, the Marshall Mathers LP is...
Yeah, no,
sorry,
I clicked on the wrong one. I was saying, if you don't like Stan or the real Slim Shady, you're just bad. But no, you're right. Those are on different albums.
No, the real Slim Shady is a fucking banger, right? Here's what's fucking, like, incredible. Like, listening to... Like, here's a thought I had, right? So, like, considering the whole, like, if we're gonna use fucking funny analogies, like, if we consider that, like, in this analogy... Dr. Dre is to Eminem as like Jay-Z is to Kanye, I guess, right? Would you kind of agree? Like on
you
surface
said Dre
level,
is
right?
to Eminem as Jay-Z is to Kanye?
Yeah, like just on the very, very surface level thing, right?
How so?
In the sense that like they kind of like gave them an in, and then all of a sudden they're like a big hero.
Sorry,
like a wild
I thought
shit.
you were gonna say it was like a different, like quality wise. I was saying I think Kanye is way better than Jay-Z. But Jay-Z is still very
not
good.
quality-wise. No, fucking
Eminem's
a better rapper than Dre. What are you talking about?
Well, yeah.
But like, here's fucking
as a rapper.
Here's some fucking maddening shit, right? So like, every Jay-Z feature on the Kanye album is really like at least
that's why I'm hyped for Donda, baby.
Good, right? Yeah, fucking good shit. But then there's one Dre feature on fucking the Slim Shady LP, and it's a fucking skit where it's like, haha, good. angel on the shoulder, devil on the shoulder, kill him. This is whoever the fuck. He's a trailer trash and he lives on. I'm like, stop. Please shut up. Please shut up for 5 seconds, dude. God. I was just mad listening to this shit in the car. I'm like, please, dude. Just say the N-word, Eminem. If you're so crazy, say the N-word once. Come on. You're a fucking psychopath. Say the N-word. Let's hear you say it. God.
Because I would say I think Eminem, right? Like, Eminem has some bangers, right? Like, I'm not gonna sit here and pretend. Like, I'm not gonna sit here and pretend.
He really does.
Real Slim Shady. My name is fucking
A lot of the stuff
Recovery
from
has
like
some great
Recovery that I
songs.
know I've listened to is really good.
Stan is honestly a phenomenal song, right? But I'm not gonna sit here and pretend like he doesn't have unbelievable bangers at times.
But what it is that like the stuff that I could feasibly listen to like one of the songs that aren't like the big fucking like popular songs and like College Dropout or America's Most
Wanted. Like the new
Wanted. I
Workout
could sit
Plan
there and
is
listen
nowhere
to it.
near the best song of that album, but it's fucking hysterical and it slaps.
It's so funny, dude. It's so funny. It's good and well produced. But like, I fucking. I'm so mad because like, Vindy, when's the last time you sat down and you listened to fucking like I don't know.
Can I be honest? I think ever since I started listening to like a lot more music and stuff, I don't listen to Eminem albums. I listen if I'm gonna listen to Eminem. I listen to the hits, right? So I'll like put on like Till I Collapse or fucking Lose Yourself or Without Me or Love the Way You Lie or The Real Slim Shady, like Stan. Like I'll listen to his good songs because I think Eminem probably has like the hardest difference between like his best songs, right? Like I will say, I think, okay, so 8 Mile is a phenomenal movie and Eminem's rap battles in that go so hard. I think he deserved to win the Oscar for Lose Yourself. Phenomenal song, right? But definitely. Eminem would be nowhere near one of my favorite rappers because I think his medium, like he either has like bangers or like bad songs, right? And the problem is, there's a lot of albums I love that I think have some songs, or even a good number of songs that I don't love, right? But the difference is like if I'm listening to a concept album, right? Like an album that's trying to tell a story and has a flow to it and is very much the album is a story in and of itself. I'm okay with songs that aren't bangers, right? I'm okay with a lull that is there to set up the banger that is the big emotional high of the album, right? The problem is Eminem isn't doing concept albums, right? He's just doing an album that's just bangers, or he's doing what should be like an album, just an album. And if you're gonna do that, you have to be like and Kanye has some concept albums, but Kanye's album is the definite art, right? Even if the album has a point, like College Dropout isn't a concept album. It's not telling a story throughout. It has a point to it, but it's not telling a story. It's like every song in the College Dropout goes fucking hard. Every song on Yeezus, which you haven't heard yet, goes fucking hard, And like the problem is like Eminem will have 2 songs that go unbelievably hard, but I don't think the rest of the album does. And so I would never listen to the album because let me go look at Curtain Call, right? Because I'll tell you like the track list of Curtain Call. It's like pretty much all good songs, right? It's like because it's Fact, which okay, I'm actually not a big fan of that one. The Way I Am, My Name Is, Stan, Lose Yourself, Shake That, Sing for the Moment, Without Me, Like Toy Soldiers, The Real Slim Shady, Mockingbird, Guilty Conscience, Cleaning Out My Closet, Just Lose It, When I'm Gone, the Elton John version of Stan, Role Model, like good songs, right? And then and that's like the fat, like it trimmed the fat off of like 4 or 5 albums to get those songs, you know what I mean? And like that's the biggest problem with Eminem,
right? Like I look at like the before I listen to the like some of the shit I've been listening to, I look at like the length, right, and like it's so long. Like I guess like it's like over an hour, right, or at least it's over an hour for what's basically 6 minutes worth of good shit. It's incredible how it's like I could have just listened to this, and I think that's what makes me angry, right? Is that like I kept holding out hope that eventually I was gonna get some like. I specifically wanted to listen all the way through because I wanted to listen to Bad Meets Evil so I could be like, oh, the lore behind why he fucking named the collab shit Bad Meets Evil with Royce da 5'9", and the song's garbage, the song's mid, And I'm like,
right. And I think especially part of the problem is that you're not listening to like outside of Eminem. I don't think you've listened from what you've told me. I would say you haven't listened to a single middling rap album. Like everything else you've listened to, it's Kanye,
it's all fucking bangers,
who, I mean,
right?
is probably the GOAT rapper. He's one of them, right? Like just incredible discography.
It's
And
Kanye
early
and Ice
Kanye,
Cube and
right? So you
NWA,
haven't
yeah.
gotten to like the albums that people are a little middling on, like Life of Pablo or Ye, right? Like you're in like, you know, you're not at Kanye's peak yet, because I would say personally his peak is, well, because you did listen to My Beautiful Dark Twisted Fantasy, but I do hope you go back and listen to it in order, because I do think Kanye has like a progression as his sound changes. But like, because like I would say 808s through Yeezy is like my favorite Kanye. But I'm also like a psychopath who thinks Yeezus is his best album.
No, I've heard good things about Yeezus. I just have not heard anything good about.
Life of Pablo has some
good
good
about
songs.
Life
I
of
mean, I
Pablo.
love Kanye is
Excellent.
one of his best songs, just in terms of like what he's saying. And I think, you know, I mean, yeah, he goes, and Ye has good moments. The one thing though is like newer Kanye has like Kids See Ghosts, which is, I would say, one of the best rap albums of the last few years. 24 minutes long. And so yeah, I mean, you know, Eminem is definitely the worst of all the rappers you've listened to, and the album you listened to is like nowhere near his best albums. So
yeah, no, I've like, that's what I'm saying, right? It's just that like, I don't know, especially considering like it is 100% because I've listened to so much good shit like in one go.
Because if you
like,
listen to
getting
like
hit
some
with that
real
was
bad
not
shit, like
fun.
if you had been listening to like 6ix9ine or like DaBaby, and like look, DaBaby's got some good songs, but he's on like a kill, like, you know, but or like even like, I think like Drake for the most part is like boring as fuck, even though Drake's more R&B, right? But if you'd been listening to like,
dude, man, I want to listen about him cry about it. I want to listen to cry for like.
But yeah, like I think if you'd been listening, or like a lot of the newer rappers, you know, I definitely could see you.
I literally can't. I don't
really
know
good
if I
ones.
want to, because there's some, right? Like I listen to fucking
yeah, I
Jeezy
mean,
or whatever, but, like,
I don't know
fucking...
if you would call him a rapper, but I mean, I would say I think one of the best artists currently is absolutely, fucking what's his name, Lil Nas kills it. Lil Nas X is built different.
Yeah.
The problem is he only has one album, but all the
I want to listen to some of this shit too.
But we'll talk about music another time. But yeah, like, you know, I do think there's the problem is you're listening to like, I mean, you know, the NWA, Joey Badass, like what you're listening to is like, for the most part, like some of like the most popular and like most well respected and loved rappers.
Yeah, I think I would expect you to like
so, like,
it. Yeah,
when you compare that to like Eminem, it's like, of course he's not gonna be as
fucking
good. Yeah.
Yeah, no, I know. I think it was just really frustrating that I kept
Right.
holding out hope that it was gonna get better, and it never did. After the moment fucking Role Model ended was the last time.
Look,
that
can
it
I be
stopped. That
honest?
was the last time
If
I
you
was
want to
gonna listen
continue
it.
listening to Eminem albums,
Yeah.
there is a point you absolutely have to stop, or you will kill yourself. Don't listen to
No, I
anything
know.
after Recovery. Maybe actually that's not true. That's not true.
No, man.
Marshall
I wanna
Mathers
listen to
LP2
Revival,
is pretty
man.
is fine. Marshall Mathers
I've heard
LP2
some
has some
things from it,
songs
yeah.
that I actually really like, but like, do not listen to Music to Be Murdered By. Do not listen to fucking, what is it?
I want to listen to Revival,
Don't listen.
man.
Is it
I want to listen to Revival.
Do not listen to Kamikaze. Oh my god, you will kill yourself.
Well, Vindy, think
It's
about
bad.
the name of
It's
it.
bad.
I think that's the
No.
intent. I think that's the intent, Vindy. I think if it's called Kamikaze, I'm
Also-
gonna fucking kill myself, right?
And yeah,
Maybe that would be the whole artistic point. Is that Eminem made that album to make me
Probably,
fucking kill
actually.
myself, right?
yeah.
Isn't that the power play?
But I'm excited to keep talking music with you because I love talking music and I have almost no one to talk about it with. Because I was thinking about the other, it's like I absolutely listen to the most music of anyone in the week. Like I listen to so much.
Here's the thing, right? Is just I didn't for a while because I didn't necessarily have a way, right, to do it for the longest time. I only had like scattered like different songs that we had around, and you know, when your family listens to the same shit, you kind of get tired of it. And you don't.
That's how my
wanna
mom
listen to it
is.
anymore, right? Yeah. God, you can only listen to so much Hawaiian reggae until you fucking get.
I've been listening to a Flaming Lips album
out.
for the past like 40. Like I listen to music while we record. Like I always have music on if I'm at my computer. So I'm just always listening. But like, you know, I understand that that's not everyone. But I am happy that you're listening to music now because today I'm finally gonna sit down. You're about to get
I can't wait.
100+ album list of recommendations, like sorted by genre from me.
I told you I want to listen to like a bunch of fucking Bay Area rappers like for a little bit. Or it's like, and I'm dreading because I was like, man, Mac Drake shouldn't have that many albums, right? And I just look on it and I was like, holy fucking shit.
Yeah.
Most of this is not gonna be good. yeah. I need to hurry up and get to Ronald Reagan so I can listen to fucking good shit, right? Jesus. Man. You know what I'm actually gonna have a rant about? You know who Pilo is,
No.
right? Okay. Pilo's a Bay Area rapper. He's like a Filipino dude, and I swear to God, he makes the same fucking song every single time. It's the same beat, the same flow. Like after we record, I just want you to listen to 2 of them. I want you to listen to 3, and just be
that he can
amazed.
get away with making the same song over and over. I love
literally.
Flipside.
It's literally the same song.
He's the Fripp side of rap.
He's the Bay Area Fripp side, dude. Dude, oh no. All right, your turn, Vindy.
I'm sorry to everyone that we talked about music. So now,
no, it's not only that. It's like Vindy's really making it for the fact that he's not going to be here next week by talking about more than the people in the rotation about what they are talking about.
I'm sorry. I was excited.
You really want him to kill himself, don't you?
No, I just won't go. It's fine.
Go.
All right. Well, if you like hearing my voice, you're about to hear it again because I'm going to talk about something else nobody knows about. Sports manga. Actually, what's seen the anime for this? But I caught up to
I've
Baby Steps.
I've seen the anime for Baby Steps.
It's
caught up.
Or caught up to the manga for Baby Steps. Caught up to scans.
You mean fucking read all of that exists?
Scans are behind.
Okay.
So for those who don't know, Baby Steps got canceled somewhere in the 450s. Scans are currently in the 420s. I don't know how the fuck this ends in 30 chapters. Very clearly got canceled because it's nowhere close to ending, and I'm scared for what's happening because so far it's been like the same pace the whole time through. Phenomenal manga so far, like really fucking good. I love a lot of it. I love A-chan. He's really good. He's
so. I remember like Beatrice called it the fucking the fucking new age
really
Hajime no Ippo or something like that, right? Well, like okay, it's in a sense like I could sort of
I can see it
because
like he's playing tennis outside of school, so it's the professional world. But yeah,
that's the only and like I get because then again, this was like when I've seen a total of Hajime no Ippo.
Yeah,
but like
no go.
Yeah, like it's if I remember I was talking to you about like adaptations that Puro did, and I was like, oh yeah, no, I'm wrong to say that Puro only cares about Naruto because they also gave a shit about Baby Steps. Because like babies, I guess when I've been looking forward to reading it. The only reason I have not read it is because MathWiz fucking announced to the world, as far as my knowledge, that it fucking died, and I was like, well, I don't want to be sad anymore.
It got
so I'm not gonna read it.
Here's what I'll say. Okay, here's what I'm gonna tell you to get you to read it. All right, you ready? What? You remember Takuma, right? The guy who was at STC with HN and Natsu. I'll send a picture of him so you remember him.
Yeah. I recognize.
The guy who's like really good and goes pro. Oh my god, the anime looks so bad. Whatever. This guy.
Well, it's pure adaptation.
Yeah.
Oh yeah,
dude,
I love
an
that
official
man.
match against him. It's fucking great. I told my brother. I literally messaged him earlier today and was like, I wish this match had been adapted because I would watch it. It's so unbelievably good and well done, and it's everything you want and more. And it's so good. And Achan and Natsu, like, they get together. And their relationship is great because Baby Steps also is a romance. It's very much a romance as well. The romance is a major part of Baby Steps. From what I understand, it seems like it's more a part of the anime, and I think that's just because the romance is a bigger thing earlier on, but as it goes, the romance becomes less important as they get together, and then it becomes much more about A-chan and his tennis career. But I will say the one thing that I think is really interesting about Baby Steps is that a lot of sports manga, right, take place in high school. right? Or middle school or high school, something like that, right? And because of that, because of the way sports are in Japan, they almost never lose, right? Like, for example, in Haikyuu, right? They lose twice in the entire series, right? Because you can't lose, right?
Yeah.
If you lose, it's over. You know, the third years are gone. It advances a year. You know what I mean? A-chan's a fucking loser. He might be the worst tennis player in Japan. The motherfucker loses constantly.
Bruh.
Not actually, like, he's fucking built different, and he's really fucking good. And a large part of the series is how he started playing in high school and is better than people who have been playing their entire lives. But compared to other sports manga, like even Ippo's what, 1,300 chapters? Ippo's lost 3 official boxing matches, you know?
Yeah,
and that's like the common
yeah.
thing in sports manga. I swear to God, it feels like A-chan loses constantly because he's not playing. He's playing in tournaments, right? He's playing in junior tournaments or professional tournaments, but he doesn't have to win them all or the series is over. So he can lose a lot. So there's a lot of times where it's very close, and especially with the way that A-chan plays and like the style of tennis he plays, is he's a very studious person originally in school, then it transitions to tennis, so he takes notes on his opponent in the match. And A-chan's really smart and he has really good eyes, so a lot of his matches are he starts off behind and he has to learn to adapt to how the other person plays tennis, right? And so it's as he learns to adapt, he starts to get the hang of it. And it's always right when his back's against the wall, he learns to adapt and wins the match, right? But because of that, a lot of matches are very tense as to whether or not he's going to win or lose, because it's literally like, oh, if they score right here, he's going to lose. And sometimes he figures it out and he wins and like pulls like a fucking comeback. And sometimes he just loses. And that's really interesting because I feel like, and I've read a lot of sports manga, and a lot of them, they don't lose very much, you know? A-chan loses all the time, and it's a big part of it, and that psychology around losing and being in all these tournaments, and all the players lose, because that's just how the manga treats it. And I think it felt very refreshing to read, because there were multiple matches where it's like, I actually didn't know who was going to win. And a lot of times when I read a sports manga, you know who's going to win, because one team has to win, right? For the most part, like you know, if you're, and I don't feel bad spoiling this match happens, because if you've seen up through season 4 of the anime, it ends at the point where it's the next match. But like when you're reading Haikyuu or watching Haikyuu, and it gets to Karasuno versus Nekoma, right? You know who's gonna win that. That's not. There's never a question, right? It's like, how do they win, right? Or when you get to like Karasuno versus Shiratorizawa, they're not gonna fucking lose to Shiratorizawa. Don't think they will, right? And not that ruins it, because I still love Haikyuu and I still love sports manga. But that, like, not knowing what's going to happen is, like, really exciting for baby steps. I think the art's really good. I really like A-chan. He's not, like, my favorite sports manga protagonist, but he's a really good one who I really want to root for. And I think Baby Steps does a lot of good things. And I'm really sad it got canceled because, like, I'm not going to say, like, the stuff I'm at right now and, like, the stuff that the scans are at is the best part of the manga, because it's not. The best part was the one match that had been built up for, like, 350 chapters. But it's still really good. Yeah. So I'm really sad it got canceled, and I'm going to be really sad when the scans finish and I see how bad it gets as it dies. But I would still say it's worth reading, because it's at least 400 chapters of a really good sports manga. And, yeah, I liked it a lot.
Neat.
Oh, boy.
So, y'all, well, I guess not what the what as much, but you all talk about stuff that you enjoyed. I usually talk about stuff that I enjoyed, but then sometimes I watch something that I didn't enjoy. So I'm a really big fan of Monster Hunter, and you know, I have a something going on, and so I've been going out of my way to watch a lot of Monster Hunter, read a lot of Monster Hunter things that take place, you know, a part of this franchise. So, you know that live action movie that happened?
Did you fucking really?
See, it sucks. Not even because it was bad, but because I feel like legitimately they tried to do service to the franchise. Like, Rathalos was cool. Diablos was cool. They, like, you know, here's the main character kind of coming to an understanding with the hunter guy, I guess. They fucking had the cat chef from World, and they literally, like, recreated his cooking cutscenes partly in the movie. Like, they have, like, the weapon catches on fire because it's a fire element weapon. They're legitimately doing their darndest to be like, hey, this is Monster Hunter, look. And, like, the fucking characters from World show up. And I'm like, they're trying so hard. But it's just such a fucking boring movie. Holy fuck. Like, yeah, the best parts in the movie, Rathalos and Diablos are cool. People die or get hurt, and it's kind of funny, I guess. Like, the military guys go into the Monster Hunter world, and Diablos just fucking murders, like, half of them, and then the rest of them get killed by Spider Nerscalia, and... yeah. Or towards the end, the fucking excitable A-lister, like he like strikes a pose and he's gonna fight Rathalos, and he just gets fucking like blasted back like 30 feet.
Unlucky, I think.
Wait, so the way you said that a military person goes to the Monster Hunter world, is it like
it's a fucking isekai.
Okay.
Literally, U.S. military in the Middle East are driving around in the fucking, Middle Eastern desert.
It would be the Middle East as well.
And then they end up in the Monster Hunter desert, where why is there sand here? What are these giant bones? What killed these soldiers? They're shooting a lot of rounds, but there's no tracks or anything. What's going on? It's weird. Oh, fuck Diablos. And, like they sell how fucking, like, dangerous these monsters are. Like, they're shooting rounds in this shit. The climax in the movie has Rathalos, like, ripping apart tanks and fucking, like, shooting fireballs at giant, aircraft. Like, full-on military aircraft. And, like, these fuckers don't go down easily. But, it's just so, like, okay, like... So, this is the character from Monster Hunter World called the Admiral. He's cool. This is... This is Ron Perlman wearing Admiral cosplay, and we're supposed to think that this is the Admiral. And, like, maybe if I hadn't played the game, maybe I would have been like, okay. But, like, it's fucking Ron Perlman in Admiral cosplay. And even when he gets speaking lines and stuff, I just replayed the game. I'm just, like, the whole time sitting there, like, that's not the Admiral's personality. That's not, like, what he's like. It's just fucking Ron Perlman. I'm sorry. Like, I even see kind of a resemblance. I see what they're doing it, but it just didn't work for me at all. Like, honestly, the other characters, the fucking handler actually looks like a human being because she's being played by a human being instead of whatever the fuck they were doing in Monster Hunter World. What else? Like, I think my thing is that, because I thought about it earlier today, and it's like, they're trying to adapt World, but what they've failed to nail whatsoever was that Monster Hunter is fucking goofy as shit. Like, you're playing this dude who wields a weapon that's literally his size. They've got goofy ass emotes. They're fighting, like, you're fighting a fucking wyvern that has boxing gloves that shed explosive goop, and he's got a pompadour. Like, Monster Hunter is inherently, like, ridiculous, and there isn't nearly enough of that in this movie, I think. Like, they have the cat chef towards the end, and it's just like, what the fuck, this is weird, why is this in the movie? Like, and yeah, as just an original action movie, it's just a fucking weird, baffling, and boring experience for me. I just don't... They wanted this thing to have a sequel, too. Like, there's literally a fucking after credits thing where, they go back to they're fighting a monster and they end up back in the monster world, and there's a fucking dude in a cloak on a tower, like, looking on mysteriously, and it's like, who the fuck is that? There's maybe something going on here. And it's like, why? Anyway, Vindy, go ahead and talk.
I don't even want to at this point, but I will, because I have very strong feelings about the Monster Hunter movie. So the first thing I'm going to say is I don't know who it's for, because it's clearly not for World casuals, because it has fucking Nerscalia and Gore Magala in it, which aren't in World.
And there's a Darren Morin skeleton in the desert, which yeah.
But then it's also not for hard Monster Hunter fans who have played, like, all the games, because it's so World centric. And not only is it so World centric, I remember telling you about this, Crafts, and you might disagree, but I'm still holding true to this, which is I firmly believe that the Monster Hunter movie, for a lot of it, makes the main hunter look like a fucking savage. Like, he makes, like, he feels like this, absolutely, like, savage, like, whatever. And, like, it changes a little bit once the handler and some of the other hunters show up.
Well, like, once they, like, okay, like, they fight some of the monsters for a bit, and then, like, he fucking captures her, and they're basically giant assholes to each other.
Yeah.
And I'm like, why? Why are you acting like this? You were helping her earlier. Why are you suddenly being an asshole? Like, and she's kind of a hard ass dick too. And it's like, guys, holy fuck! Like, I hate both of you. You're both unlikable. I do not like this movie. Oh, they go together. They work together. Woo! I don't give a fuck at this point.
And it's like also it's like I hate that because the hunters of Monster Hunter are very civilized. Yes, they're behind us technologically, but the Hunter Association is smart. The hunters are smart. One of the core principles, in my opinion, and themes of Monster Hunter that's expressed through its gameplay is the idea of like humanity and humans being able to succeed in environments where they shouldn't, right? And so a large part of that is like you prepare for a quest, you bring items, you have weapons, you bring weapons that are effective against the monsters. Every hunter in the series canonically takes notes about the monsters they fight because every single player has their hunter's notes, which is notes that they take against the monsters they fight.
And if they don't, they fucking die.
Right. So like Monster Hunter, like the hunters are civilized.
Like if they don't know what they're fighting,
they're supposed to be smart. They're not just like some like savage gurus like who like, oh well, we just know how to do this. Like no, like the hunters like have to think and prepare and work together. And yeah, there are some weird things, like they're superstitious, and because of their superstition, there's only 4 hunters allowed on a quest. But there's a lot more to it, and I feel like the movie largely disrespects the hunters, because it's this isekai thing. I would much rather...
Well, like, it definitely could have been worse, I will say, like, because like I said, ultimately, like, they come to an understanding. It's not, like, there's no, like, oh, look at how superior these American ideals are in comparison. Like, if anything... she's out of her element learning from them.
No, that's true,
and,
but just
so it could
the hunter being like portrayed as a savage really bothers me because I feel like Monster Hunter is absolutely not that. You know what I think would have worked for a phenomenal movie, honestly, is Rise's story. I think Rise's story starts super interesting. I would watch a Rise movie. Just the idea of like this village that they're in and all the things like surrounding that. But even like outside of that, right? It's like, okay, that's one thing. I will always give the movie this. The fucking scene where Rathalos, like, destroys the fucking military and, like, annihilates the tank and the planes, legitimately cool as fuck. Legitimately awesome. Like, I fucking love that scene. It's so cool. But they're...
No, even, like, Diablos, I thought, like, those two... like, Nerscalia was weird because, like, it didn't really look like Nerscalia. It was always in the dark.
Yeah,
that's not really how Nerscalia works. Like, he's just one giant spider, not like a big swarm of them or whatever. But I thought Rathalos and Diablos were perfect. Yeah, honestly.
No, I loved Rathalos in the movie. Rathalos was the best character. And I will say this, like, I know you think Ron Perlman doesn't look at it. I will give for the rest of the characters really good casting. I think the serious handler and the handler look exactly like they do.
I think. Ron Perlman's the only one who bothers me because I just see Ron Perlman.
Because
I don't
he's
even
a notable actor.
And again, his personality isn't like he doesn't even act like the Admiral. Right. The Admiral's a fucking crazy person. Like the fucking Hunter is a better Admiral than the Admiral personality than Ron Perlman as like personality wise. Like that's he would fucking lock horns with a Rajang if he could. Like he's kind of a nut. But Ron Perlman's way more like smarter and softer spoken and just like I didn't feel like he was like acted like I remember the Admiral's personality being. So just not ideal for me as far as adapting the character at least. And it's one thing I think if the movie didn't directly take characters from Worlds, but it's literally like the same Hunter Association and characters from World. So like they should act like they do because it's the same characters. Like you can't tell me it isn't. Right, and well, like you even mentioned it because they have monsters that weren't in World. They also have like the Ancients and a big tower. And when the whole thing about Monster Hunter World is that they're going to a region that hasn't been like had civilization. Like there are peoples there. Like there's the first Wyverians who are literal like fucking hermit people who just exist, and then there's the Grimalkins who are like tribes of cat people, and that's it. There are no structures. There's nothing that wasn't like there. I mean, there's like a ruined ship in the ice place that was before the research commission got there, but that's still within like living people's history, right? Like there's no ancient. So that's where the kind of mixing of, because that's fitting for regular Monster Hunter. It's just not world, right?
Yeah.
So it's just same with all the monsters that appear that aren't in world. So it's just weird mixing of the generations of the game, basically. When world itself was something different, and the movie leans hardest into that. So the fact that it does have these ancients is just a little weird.
Yeah, and anything else I could say really comes down to like very minor Monster Hunter nitpicks. As a hardcore as a Monster Hunter fan, it'd be shit like, I do think it's a little weird that the hunter doesn't have a palico with him, or you saved the coolest monster to not get a fucking fight. Why the fuck do you end on Gore Magala, literally like the coolest motherfucker of all time? Why not have them fight Gore Magala in the movie?
Maybe he was gonna get stuff in the sequel, but it's like, yeah.
Like, I want to see them fight Gore Magala. He's fucking awesome.
Like Gore Magala, like especially like because the whole thing at the climax was Rathalos is the other world and the hunters come to help because it's like, well, he's from our world, so we should take responsibility for that. Gore Magala has like this infectious like blight that literally starts the plot of Monster Hunter 4 and goes through the entire game. Like, he's a monster that is more dangerous to have affect the world, so like that maybe would be a bit more fitting for the idea of like like Rathalos was dangerous enough, but just saying. Though of course there's also the thing because like there was a tie-in mission for Monster Hunter the movie in World where you fight the giant Rathalos, and he is so big he's actually hard to fight because you can't roll out of the way of attacks because he's literally like 5 times the size of a normal Rathalos.
Because
fucking
that's
insane.
True too. Is the Rathalos in the movie is huge? Because Rathalos normally is about the size of like maybe like a not even like a big plane, but like like a military like fighter jet, And in the movie, Rathalos is like huge. Like he's a gold crown for sure.
Yeah. No, he's beyond gold crown. Like, trust me, Vindy, if you do the mission of World, like he is well beyond gold crown. So like as far as like crossover stuff, like they couldn't just let's put Gore Magala in World for the movie. Like, no, that's not gonna happen. But it was not a good time. I did not have fun. Anyway, that about covers the episode. Like I said, Vindy will unfortunately not be joining us next week.
Suicide.
He made up for it, I think. But
why do you make me want to kill myself? Like, I already every time we end recording, I'm like, did I talk too much? Is everyone gonna hate me? And now you just confirmed that I did, and yes, they do. So you know what? Goodbye.
That's not a problem, Vindy.
No.
I literally think it's the opposite.
Next week won't be the only episode I'm not on.
It's been a long day.
Hey, just like Paul Walker, I'm gonna die.
And I'll tell you all about it when I see you again. You come a long way from where we began. Oh, I'll tell you all about it when I see you again. Did we stop recording?